Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Join Sactown Sports downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In-Shape Fitness Kings Rally towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mommy, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6A to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram in Woodland. What's happening, Chad, for the Start Something New sales event?
There's no better way to start the year than in a new 2026 Ram 1500 Crew Cab. And right now you can save up to $14,000 off MSRP or save thousands with 0% financing for 60 months and still get the $7,000 Hoblet discount.
Wow. I love that you still have 0% financing available and that you still get the Hoblet discount.
That's why Hoblet has won dozens of customer service awards. And as a fifth-generation dealer, when you buy from Hoblet, you become part of the family. You will not find a better combination of savings and selection with over 400 new Rams available.
Search, select, and save through the whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
14,000 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 1500 Laramie after 7,000 factory rebates and 7,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 2,000 select inventory cash on select inventory, 1,000 SFS bonus cash, must finance through Stellantis, and 500 on-the-job upfit, must show eligible upfit. 5 is net savings. See dealer for details.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson. Online at SactownSports.com or on the app. Kings, Niners, and Sacramento. The Matt and Kayla Show starts now.
Oh, it is Wednesday. Hump day. Do they still say that?
I mean, we can.
Is that lame?
Hump day.
That was like a big thing when I was in school.
Great Geico commercial.
Yeah, great
One
commercial.
of the greatest of all time.
And now I think it's like lame now.
I believe
I
the
still
kids
like
call it
it.
chuggy.
I'm not going there. That
Like
sounds
they,
like
they
a
call
dookie.
Wednesday chuggy?
No, just the hump day thing.
Why is it called chuggy?
Chuggy or dookie?
Chuggy. That's what the kids say for things that are old.
No.
Oh.
No.
Skibbity Riz or whatever?
No, that's not chuggy.
Oh, all right. Well,
Like The Office, that's chuggy.
on God.
That just doesn't sound right.
For real. Like, I've become very quickly, like I got into my 30s and immediately, like the old man immediately began.
Oh, just wait.
There is nothing that bothers me like the 6'7" thing. I don't understand it.
That's funny. I don't mind it.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
Because my nephews do it.
By the way, 6'7", it's old now, by the way.
Oh,
yes, it
well,
is.
good.
Very old.
Retire it. I never want to see it again.
Yeah, it's retired.
Done.
Well, 6'7" didn't last as long as like the dab and YOLO did back in the day. Let me tell you. You want to know about hip culture? Mm-hmm. The dab and YOLO. Everybody was. Oh, and the whip. Yep.
Oh,
the whip.
the Dougie.
The whip. The nay-nay. The Dougie. Well, the Dougie everyone tried to do, but only a few people could
Do
do
it.
actually really do it.
Only Brock Purdy and John Wall learned how to do it.
That's true. Brock Purdy's great at the Dougie, but yeah, no, I'm a very much an old man, crotchety old man when it comes to the 6'7" stuff.
Did your kid do it at that young age?
Well, he's 4.
Right.
And apparently it's when they're learning to count like 1 to 20.
Oh gosh.
So
here we go.
they use 6'7" to help kids learn the number 6 and 7. So my son comes home one day, and my son doesn't do like 6, 7, which is what the kid. My son goes 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. So it's adorable, but I also hate it. So I'm mad at his teacher for doing it.
That's what they're relying on.
Yes.
To do the number.
Listen,
countdown.
Man,
it's kind of smart.
Do you remember in high school, one of the biggest lies that you're told in high school, Kayla, and I'm curious if your teachers told you the same thing. It's you have to learn in high school these skills of getting your stuff done now and stuff like this, or you have to get stuff in on time because when you go to college, your professors don't care.
Yeah.
You're part of a number. Like they are ruthless. When I got to college, granted, I went to a smaller college. I didn't go to like a massive college where I was in a classroom with 200 different students. So maybe it's different for them.
Yeah.
But for me, my entire experience was I could work with every single one of my professors and they treated you like an adult and like understood life happens and like would
There's
work
things
with
you have to do.
College was a billion times better than high school.
I got better grades in high school. I was like a straight A student almost in high school.
Oh, okay.
And so when I went to college, I was involved in tons of stuff in high school and college, but when I went to college, it was more about like building the connections and really focused on like your major, but all these other stupid classes you had to take, I just like didn't really care about. So I didn't have like an awful GPA, but it dipped significantly from what I was like used to in high school. So at first it was really hard for me to accept. And then like year 2, your sophomore year, I'm like, I don't care. Like, whatever. My teachers were fine.
Can we play a game right now? And it could potentially be very insulting, but off the cuff game, guess the GPAs.
Oh.
College?
Probably college, because you kind of tipped off that you were really good in high school.
Yeah.
So
I mean, she got into Washington State. That's not easy.
true.
Well, I got a full scholarship.
Let's do guess the GPAs, and like just so we can set the tone of insulting. Who wants to have their GPA guessed first? Because this could get really bad. And don't be nice.
Kyle.
Be real. Well, guess Kyle's GPA first. Oh,
I feel like it's going to be good.
And it's for sure good.
You know,
because Kyle's a wizard.
You didn't even have to try.
Kyle's a wizard with numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
UC Davis degree. Just to.
What is your degree in?
I have a degree in economics.
Okay. He's smart.
Sociology and history minor.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Okay.
Did it in 3 years.
I'm not gonna cop out and do 4.0. I'll say like 3.9. Like you just missed it.
Kayla?
3.8.
Okay, see, Kayla's playing the prices right.
Yeah,
I know.
No, I was about a 3.2, 3.3 in college.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I was.
That's not bad.
No, but I was consistently A- to B+ student in college.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think part of that too was I got to the point. Well, again, this is gonna not to make you guys feel older, but half of my time in college was during the pandemic.
Okay.
I can't.
That's so different.
I would have completely failed.
That would be awful.
I tried to take one online class during college.
No way.
And a week in, I dropped it because I was like, I cannot do this.
Nope.
I'm the type of person, I need to be in a classroom to sit down to learn to be in the environment. Because if you trust me to do it at home on my computer that also has video games and distractions, I'm not going to do it.
I like to be in a competitive environment. Like that's how high school was for me. If I wasn't the first on the long list of the grades, I'd get so mad. And so if I wasn't in a competitive environment, like I feel like I still am competitive, but it's a little bit more.
Did you have to like finish your test first? Were you one of those people?
No, I didn't have to do that because I knew like if I did that, then I wasn't going to necessarily be like my best.
So I have a cousin named Ryan, and she just actually left the military. She was in the Navy.
Yeah.
She's now she just graduated from Duke with her nursing degree. So congratulations to her.
Oh, that's awesome.
But she went to Del Oro High School up in Loomis.
Okay.
And she had to have a individual like test situation because she's so competitive. That like they had her take her tests separate from the class because she would get anxious if she saw anybody finish and turn their test in before her. Like it affected her. So they had to like give her, when she took tests, she had to go to her own room and do something completely different.
They just put her in like a little cubby.
Yeah, they're just like
there you, go.
you in the corner.
Yeah,
So you can, but it's a real thing. People are super competitive or people get nervous.
Yeah.
Like I used to hate doing tests on Scantrons because I hated the Scantrons. I don't know if they're still a thing anymore. Scantrons were terrible.
Not fun.
But definitely did those as a kid. Kyle's on the phone, so we'll wait to continue our game. We're playing Guess the GPA, the college GPA.
We've
Kyle's
got some in the chat too that are guessing.
Ooh, okay. Kyle 3.9. That's what I guessed. But Kyle was a 3.2. You said?
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up again. Somewhere 3.2 or 3.3.
3.2.
Basically,
Yeah. We'll call it 3.3. Let's do Kayla's.
Oh.
What do we think? I'm scared to go first. So Kate, you said
Be careful.
You were a 4.0 student in high school.
I was like 3.9.
3.9, and then you dipped in college because college.
Yeah, it's
and
college.
You get the same degree of the C's. You C's get degrees.
I knew what I was doing.
If you're not going to grad school, then it doesn't really matter.
I think I'm gonna put you at a 3 point. Because Kyle threw me off because I thought for sure he'd be up there.
I thought he was 3.
Well, I was going to say part of it was the pandemic and part of it was I got to the point where I could have taken longer and I was just like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, just get it done. Just get it done. Get the piece of paper that says you're hireable.
You know what I want to do? Come work at Sactown Sports.
There you
That's
go.
what I stay in college.
You need a 3.5 plus to work at Sactown Sports and talk about sports. Let me tell you.
You know what I want to do? Produce Kings games for Sactown Sports instead of go to college.
I'm gonna go 3.4 for Kayla.
Price is Right game. I will go 3.3.
Okay, 3.2.
Okay, that's So we're all on the same. We're good. What do you guys think?
We're all on the same page, huh, Matt?
Well,
boy.
I think. Well, I just don't want to give anything away.
And you graduated again?
I graduated from I went to Jessup University in Rockland, which, by the way, it's a private Christian university. I went there because they offered me an opportunity to broadcast their sports, so I definitely took it.
What was your degree?
My degree, I didn't ask you what your degree was.
Broadcast journalism.
Mine was, they didn't technically have a communications department at the time, so I'm English.
Okay.
Technically, it's like English professional writing or something like that is what
like
it is.
English,
it's English journalism, English professional
You were
writing.
talking about how much you hated essays.
Yes, I wrote way too many essays in college. Don't be an English major. You all you do is write, and it
better
sucks.
than math.
Yes, that's true. But in order to go to a private Christian university, you have to minor in Bible. So I'm also a Bible minor. Yeah.
What's your minor, Kyle?
I have a sociology and history minor.
Okay, mine's sports management.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Kayla's gonna be running the teams
That's
that she
right,
talks
baby!
about. Okay, so what do you think?
3.
3.0. Okay.
Well, now this is hard because the
he's gonna
Price is
say it's
Right
like
game.
3.9.
I don't know whether to insult Matt or say no.
what are you
Matt's
gonna
not-
do?
He's
What are you
being
gonna
a traitor right now. I can't read him.
Fine, I'll go 2.9.
3.4.
See, I knew he was. I should have guessed it was higher.
Out of fear of my mother,
I should have guessed higher.
My mom was like, I don't care. C's don't get degrees in this house. If you get a C, my mom threatened to not help me with pay for college if I got a C. That's how my mom.
So you were what, like a B plus average, A minus?
Yeah, usually I think the lowest grade that I got in a college class was a B minus.
What was your high school GPA again?
My high school GPA was worse. My high school GPA was like 3.2. Yeah.
Oh,
3.
that's usually don't see the opposite.
Oh, now you're doing the 6-7.
I know she was. I was weird in college because I didn't have the college social life I wish I had. I have regrets about my time in college because I got to broadcast sports there. I knew what I wanted to do, and I was starting their broadcasting program there. So I either worked at my part-time job, which was Panera, or I was in their athletic department broadcasting either volleyball or soccer or basketball or softball or something. So I didn't do anything except for quote unquote worked. Yeah. It's what I wanted to do.
I worked a lot too.
So I didn't really and go to class. But also, again, private small Christian school, a lot of these.
You don't have fraternity parties like we did.
Yeah.
We had partying at Washington State.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying.
Big time partying.
Listen, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus or anything like that. I'm just saying though, when there's those pastors' daughters that go to those schools and they get a little taste of freedom and they go a little crazy. Not for old Matt George. Nope.
You think you had a party life? Just wait until you're playing Among Us every Thursday night on Zoom because you couldn't see anybody for 18 months.
Listen,
I can't even imagine
what happened to the prayer chapel stayed in the prayer chapel.
What?
No, it's a joke. I have no idea.
Is that what they say over there?
What happened in the pews stays in the pews.
Hey, listen. We weren't the only ones taking communion, if you know what I mean. No, I'm just, again, I didn't experience any of that fun stuff in college.
All right, I will be clipping that.
I was too busy in a gym and trying to get my wife to even consider
Look
dating
at you.
me. Yeah, it took a long time. That's a story for another time. I did want to continue to derail the start of the show by telling you guys last night I did something that I've wanted to do forever and I've never done it. And I'm
ran a marathon.
No, yeah, right. If I run to my fridge, I'm tired.
Oh, what was going on in the pews last night?
No.
You went back to the school church.
Last night, guys, I submitted my application to be on the Traders.
Wait, okay, you just lied to us again. You said before the show you were going to talk about the Traitors, how you watched up to episode 3.
Yep.
You did not mention one thing about applying to the Traitors.
So I did not know that they are opening the Traitors now
To
to
regular people,
which is wonderful because the Traitors is a wonderful show on Peacock.
Yeah.
One of the best reality shows out there. Love it. Love that show. Just go and see it. Not right now because you're listening to this. But love the Traitors. And the UK version, in my opinion, is way better than the USA version because the UK version, 1, is all regular people, and 2, in the UK, they just get emotional about everything.
Sure.
So the drama's great.
And you can't really understand them either.
Yeah, they're like, great. The traitor. And you're like, all right,
Subtitles.
sure, whatever he said. But the UK version is way better because it's regular people and they get super emotional. The USA version is all these reality stars, and I'm familiar with pretty much only a small portion of them.
Donna Kelsey.
Believe it or not, I'm not a Housewives watcher, unfortunately. I'll get there at some point, maybe during the summer.
Come on, Matt.
But so they have these celebrities do it, and it's still fun.
Yeah.
But they opened it up to the public.
Saw that.
And I love Survivor. I've always wanted to be on Survivor. But I know I would do terrible on Survivor for 2 reasons. 1, I don't like being uncomfortable. So not eating and sleeping on bamboo on a beach somewhere sounds miserable. And 2, like I'm way too trusting, which might get me in trouble on like, and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna make it. Like,
or Big Brother or something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make. I don't believe like you're one of a billion people that are applying for this show.
I don't know. You've got a tattoo, a sleeve of.
That's
Lord
all
of the
my
Rings.
video was. My application video was just me and my Lord of the Rings tattoo sleeve.
Hey, you know what? If Katie Christensen's husband can make it, so can you.
But Joe's a badass, man. I love Joe. Joe's
he's an ex-athlete?
He's a fireman.
Okay.
He's also just a wonderful human being. Like Joe's awesome, and Joe like looks like he belongs there.
E-Man or something.
I look like if there's a gust of wind in Scotland, I'm getting.
No, you might lose your
blown
life
away.
on Survivor if you don't.
Oh no, Survivor! I will die. Survivor! I will.
I think I would.
I would 100% die on Survivor. But I think I do okay in Traitors. So I applied for it. I've never done this before. I submitted a video. I was like, I'm never nervous talking. I was so nervous doing that
you did a video?
Yeah, you have to do like a video about what would you rather be, a traitor or a faithful. And I'm not telling you what I'd rather be because if I make it on the show, I'm not going to tell anybody. But
nah, that's a faithful answer right there.
Damn it,
I asked my brother if I should apply.
You should. You should.
Could you imagine us both going on that? Kyle, you're filling in on the show while we're off doing Traitors.
You're not going to believe this.
You
applied too?
All 3 of us are on there, and we immediately backstab each other. all 3 of us are immediately throwing each other under the bus for sure.
Or we'd have to do what Johnny Ware and what's her name? The skaters.
The other figure skater.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they don't act like they're
know each
friends.
other at all.
Tara Lipinski.
Yeah.
They don't act like they're friends at all, but really they are.
How does that work, though? Because they ask them, what do you do? And they both say figure skater.
I know.
Yeah, well, people assume they know each other, but they don't act like they're the best friends that they really are type thing.
Right.
But like in the UK version, I think the first season of the UK version, they had an actual real-life couple that was in there that pretended they weren't a couple. And then I think the second season, they had a mom and son, but they didn't tell each other, or they didn't tell anyone they were mom and son.
That's kind of cool.
So there's creative ways to do it. But yes, I applied, and I'm not going to get it. But I applied. I've always wanted to apply for a reality show like that I'm interested in. So I applied for the Traitors.
That's great.
Wish me luck. And if any Traitor producers are listening, why? What are you doing here? But thank you.
Maybe trying to find talent.
Thank you.
Now Kayla's going to get on it.
I was going to say, Kayla's going to make the show, and I'm not, and I'm going to be bitter
boring.
forever. Hey, the Kings and Knicks played last night. Sorry, everybody, for great segue, Matt. Yep, thank you. 16 minutes into the show, and we're finally actually doing the show. I'm Matt George, Kayla Anderson with me. We got Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass. Thanks for humoring us to start this this show. I'm excited because Kayla's drinking an energy drink that I encouraged her to drink. So
I made Matt go down and get it with me, and then my card didn't even work.
I got
so he
scammed.
Actually had to buy it for me.
Kayla's
So
card
I
was
owe
declined.
you.
I got scammed, so I had to buy it for her. But I want to see if it does the same thing to her that it does to me. We have a fun show for you today. We're going to talk about Kings and the New York Knicks, and the Kings lost last night. Devin Carter still didn't get to play. Keon Ellis did play. I wasn't very thrilled or really entranced in what he did. The Cleveland Browns finally hired their head coach, and it's a nightmare, it sounds like, and it's hilarious, and I can't wait to hear what Kayla and Kyle had to say about that. We're going to go around the NBA. There's more news about Giannis looking for a new home. Jeremy Sohan wants out of San Antonio. The Warriors are looking to potentially send Jonathan Kuminga to the Miami Heat for a familiar face. We'll talk about all of that. Bill Belichick not a first ballot Hall of Famer. People feel very passionately about that. We'll discuss that. And I have another idea for a potential trade destination for DeMar DeRozan that nobody is talking about. That's coming up in the show. And finally, at 1 o'clock, very excited, from No Ceilings. It's a group that does amazing NBA draft coverage. Tyler Rucker is joining us at 1 o'clock. We're going to finally get to tap into this draft class, and hopefully he can help me feel better about if the Kings don't end up with the top 4 pick.
You got to have a backup, Matt.
The draft class is deep, so it's okay if the Kings don't end up in the top 4, although I still really need the Kings to end up in the top 4. But Tyler will join us at 1 o'clock, so if you have any questions or curiosities about this NBA draft class this year that the Kings should be very interested in, keep an eye out for that at 1 o'clock. But the Kings and the Knicks, the Kings lose 103-87, Kayla, and that final score is not an accurate representation of all of that game. We were talking about the spread. It was Knicks favored by minus 14.5. And
what did you guess initially? Like a single digit?
No, I initially thought it was like 9.5, but 14.5 sounded. I thought the Kings were going to get wiped last night. And that game was competitive the entire way through, and then all of a sudden the fourth quarter happens and the Knicks cover the spread.
It's so interesting, and this is kind of like the story of the season with this group is like, I'm not saying every game hasn't been disinteresting. There have been plenty of games where they've been in it at moments, especially like first half. Well, this first half was sloppy basketball, like turnovers left and right.
Ugly.
We did have like the excitement of DeMar DeRozan. While I wish it were other players, helping out in the situation, it was awesome to see DeMar kind of like in his bag. And that was throughout the game. He scored 34 points.
Yeah, he was the only offense.
He was the only offense. But the second or the third quarter, I'm like, okay, like the Kings could really get this one and sweep the Knicks. And then the fourth quarter came, and the minute they started knocking down the threes, it was like buried.
Yeah.
And there was no coming back from that.
Yeah, Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson decided, oh, wait a minute, we're a team that should be competing for a championship. Let's end this now. The Knicks were playing terribly the entire game.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
They turned the ball over more than the Kings. Like it was an ugly performance from the New York Knicks. Mike Brown did not look pleased at all with that group. I know they're still trying to figure things out, but they righted the ship at the right time against the Kings. DeMar DeRozan was fantastic, 34 points. Next highest King was Russ with 14.
I didn't think he looked good, by the way.
No, Russ was not good. Like Russ was not good. He took way too many shots. Like we talked about this a little bit because we were curious, like, was Doug Christie going to prioritize the veterans a little bit more? Because we know Doug really wants to beat Mike Brown. We know the animosity between those two, or we've discussed it in the past. But DeMar played 41 minutes in the Kings' win over the Knicks in Sacramento. DeMar played 39 last night. And on the surface, I'm not thrilled about DeMar DeRozan playing 39 minutes, except in this case, I'm giving Doug Christie the pass because quite literally nobody else could do anything offensively other than DeMar. So DeMar might, like, to give the Kings a chance, DeMar might have probably should have played 48.
Sure.
Like, offensively, he was the only thing the Kings had going, especially in that first half.
Exactly right. And I think, you would look to a guy maybe in these situations to have that extra offense coming off the bench like a Malik Monk, but you didn't have that yesterday because Malik Monk did not play.
Yep.
What was the injury again that he's dealing with?
I
feel like
don't remember.
Ankle
soreness.
Okay, so he did not play. You had mentioned we did see a little bit of Keon Ellis. And again, Keon's kind of like out there trying to get a gig somewhere else, if you may.
Auditioning.
And the Knicks were supposedly one of those teams that were interested. I did not think Keon looked great. I thought defensively he was fine, but he was missing a lot of his shots that he took. I just didn't think that he stood out by any means. You had DeMar DeRozan, who was at least the only one that was consistent with what he was doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what he's done all season.
Right.
And you had Neat Clifford, did not look good in the first half, and I thought the second half he was helpful, but it's not enough.
Yes.
Like, that's not a primary scorer for you that you can rely on a guy like that maybe in the future, but he did look better. But DeMar was the only consistent one from start to finish.
Yeah, I'd like to take responsibility because I'm that important for Neek playing better in the second half, because almost immediately when I sent out a tweet, like I was like Neek's performance had been a little bit disappointing. He had a very nice off the dribble isolation, turnaround, step back jumper. I was like, okay, there's a little bit of DeMar DeRozan in there. Nice shot. And then goes back on defense, gets the steal, and then reverse layup in transition.
Was nice.
You're like, okay, there you go, Neek. There's a nice little stretch. But that's the problem. We've seen these bursts. The next step for Neek over the course of the remainder of this season is hopefully stringing together consistently solid performances. Consistency is a big issue for this Kings team, period. So it's hard to like put it all on the shoulders of a rookie.
Right.
But string together some good performances. Show us 3 out of 4 games you're playing well. You don't have to play necessarily or put up the numbers that you did in Detroit, but I want to see him string together those good performances. Didn't necessarily get that last night, but there were some good moments, and we're seeing more flashes than we were earlier in the season. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's more consistent playing time. Like we're seeing him, he played 30 minutes yesterday.
Yeah.
So, and he started. And so it's one of those things where I think now we got to, like you said, kind of string things together because you are getting the minutes now. You can't blame it on, I'm getting this many minutes in this game, but then it drops off. It looks like he's starting to really get more consistent minutes. Now, part of that is because Levine is not in the lineup right now, but we'll see how that changes moving forward.
I'm interested to see because I don't think Levine's going anywhere, especially with the latest Giannis news. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. We're just scratching the surface of this this Kings game too, because there is something that Doug Christie did in this game that I did not like at all. It blew up in his face pretty quickly. I guess it helped the tank, but I was not a very big fan of it. And when he made the adjustment, it was too little too late. Domantas Sabonis put up numbers, but it didn't feel very... I don't think Domantas Sabonis and Russell Westbrook are on the same page at all, really. So we'll talk about that in the next segment, too. Plus, we thought Devin Carter maybe had a chance. He didn't. He didn't get any playing time. We'll talk about that and more coming up next right here on Sactown Sports.
This is Bill Cartwright. Join us Thursday, February 5th at the Golden One Center for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration.
You know, this is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/plan to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/plan for 20% off. trustandwill.com/PLAN.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Guys, feeling low energy or low drive? It could be low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health, start with a free T-check and consultation. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off TRT. Book now at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Dancing live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Valentine's gift. Surprise them with live country music and dancing. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center and Hilton Sacramento. For more info, visit CITPFest.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, so sorry, bosses, in advance if I'm not. But, hey, Kings fans, you might want to listen on Friday because there could be some Kings tickets heading your way for when the Kings take on the Memphis Grizzlies next Wednesday. So just keep an eye and an ear out for that. And it's not just this show, it's every show. Good opportunities to win some Sacramento Kings tickets coming up on Friday. So keep an eye out for that. Right now, it is Wednesday, and the Sacramento Kings, Kayla, have lost 6 straight. Hey, remember that 4-game win streak? Gone. 6 straight losses. Their longest of the season, I believe, is 7.
Yes.
So we're approaching that.
We're getting close.
And I think they're going to hit that. They're in
Philadelphia.
They're Philly on Thursday.
And then
tomorrow.
the Wizards, Harry.
And then the Wizards on Friday. The Wizards might give us a chance to
I was
snap
just going to say.
The Tank Bowl.
Well, yes.
That might change
very
it.
much the Tank Bowl in that
So it'd
sense.
be, what, a 7-gamer?
If they lose to
win?
Philly but win, and it would just end at a 7-gamer, another 7-gamer. Either way, Kings not very good. Shocking. And Doug Christie made a decision towards the end of last night's game that maybe, in theory, helped their chances of losing.
Okay.
But I was not a fan of it.
But Doug wants to win games. That's been very
Doug
clear.
especially wants to win games against Mike Brown. Like, Doug wants to beat Mike Brown, 100%. And that's, I think, I got to be careful because this is a lot of speculation. I don't know this for certain. But this has been, the closing lineup that he had out there was different from what he has been doing. And one of the reasons for that is, like we talked about yesterday, is he ever going to try and lean too heavily on the veterans to give himself the best chance to beat Mike Brown? Sure. The closing lineup last night, or the lineup towards the end of the game when this game was still in reach, was Russell Westbrook, Dennis Schroeder, DeMar DeRozan, Precious Achiuwa, Domantas Sabonis. Not a young guy, not really a future piece inside. I know there's, like, in theory, DeMar could be around next year. Domantas Sabonis might be around for another year or two, but no one's looking
Precious.
at... Yeah, maybe Precious.
I like Precious.
I like Precious a lot. Like, I think the Kings, he's on a 1-year deal for a couple $1 million. Like, the Kings absolutely should look into bringing him back, but he might be playing well enough for another team out there to go, yeah, come on over.
That's a great point.
Come on over. But I love Precious. I would love to see Precious return. But that is a vet-heavy closing lineup. When I saw it, I was like, nope, this is not what we want to be doing. We want to have at least like Neek or Dylan or Max, somebody out there to be getting at least a little bit of opportunity here in this situation. And right away, Kayla, that lineup got rinsed. They gave up a 9-0 run, and
bad.
This game was out of reach. And then with 2 minutes left, Doug subs in Neek Clifford and Keon Ellis. And at that point, it's like, okay. And had the young guys been in there, would it have gone any differently? I don't know. But that's the thing. Maximize the opportunity in a close game in the Madison Square Garden. Get a young guy out there and Doug's been doing good at that recently.
Yeah, you've complimented on closing lineups
I did not like that one last night.
Here's what I didn't like about it. And I get what you're saying about, giving him the best chance to win. Giving the team the best chance to win, because in no way do I think Doug's trying to, like you said, lose games, especially against Mike Brown. All those points are valid. What I really didn't like about it either is I get DeMar DeRozan because DeRozan was balling. Like, he was doing his thing.
Your only offense.
Yeah. But I was really questioning the Schroeder Westbrook part of it too. And especially Russell Westbrook. I am a Russell Westbrook fan. I like him. I like what he stands for. I like what he usually does. He did not have it going in Madison Square Garden last night.
Nope.
He was turning over the ball like you mentioned. He just wasn't hitting his shots. Like, I did not like him at all during that game. So to put him in there in the closings, and I know Malik Monk wasn't an option.
Sure.
But I just thought he was actually taking some momentum away from the Kings at times because of the turnovers and the shot selection, and yet he was in the closing lineup.
And that's kind of how it's been with Russ and DeMar, is those two just seem to have longer leashes than anybody on this. And that's not my favorite term in the world, but you get what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Like Doug clearly lets them maybe get away with a little bit more or have a little more leeway than anybody else.
Right.
And we've seen this before. Now, Russ is Russ, and we know the experience, the Russell Westbrook experience is going to be great, crazy, energetic moments, and the same energy is going to create chaos. And last night was chaos. I mean, 14 points, 6 of 19 from the field, 19 shots from Russell Westbrook. Nobody needs that. DeMar DeRozan took 26. But again, DeMar was the only offense the Kings had last night, so I'm giving it a one-game pass in that sense. Russ, 6 turnovers in that game. He, Sabonis, and DeRozan were all a minus 17. Dennis Schroeder was a minus 12. Schroeder had a really bad game off the bench, 4 points, 1 of 8 from the field, 0 of 3 from three-point range. You had at least 2, I'd say 3 guys out there in that closing lineup that just simply were not playing well. And I know Sabonis' numbers were fine. I mean, he had 11 points, 5 of 10 from the field, 12 rebounds, 7 assists, turned the ball over 3 times. But that's the difference with Sabonis now versus Sabonis of a couple of years ago. Is I was arguing against the people that were saying it's just empty calories, it's empty numbers. Well, no, he was putting up triple doubles and double doubles on a team that was more often than not winning. He was directly contributing to winning. He was at the center, for lack of a better term, of winning. And now, like, he put up better numbers, quote unquote, than Mitchell Robinson. Mm-hmm. But it felt like Mitchell Robinson was far more impactful in that game than Sabonis is. Like, I'm watching Sabonis play and I'm like, I don't see the impact from a player who's being paid $46 million.
The impact word is huge that you just used, because there are noticeable players on the Kings team. Like somebody in the chat had just mentioned, Russ is at least fun to watch.
Yeah.
Right? Even if he's out there in closing minutes and he hasn't had a great game, at least, like, he's fun to watch.
He is.
And he is most of the time impactful in some way in certain situations where it comes to closing time. But with Sabonis, what I've noticed, and, I think we're going to hear people say, well, is he 100%? He's been banged up here. He's been banged up there. I'm sorry. That's that's part of the game.
Yeah.
And we've seen Sabonis have injuries in the past and play through them. And he's been that tough player. Yep. There's something missing. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying he has to impact the team and he's the only player, but he is one of the highest players on the team besides Zach LaVine. And you're just not getting what you need exactly out of him right now.
Yeah, both of your $40+ million contracts are not living up to those $40+ million contracts. Zach LaVine nowhere near the output that you need for the price tag, and we know Zach doesn't really want to be here. Domas maybe wants to be here. We're not entirely sure, but Domas, to be fair, like you said, has been battling injuries and things like that, but Domas has not been living up to that contract at all this year. And I do feel, not that it's all Domas and Russell Westbrook's fault by any means, but I thought it was interesting. They don't seem to be on the same page. There seems to be a disconnect, which is interesting because, like, we know Domas and Malik Monk, who have played together for years. That 2-man game is really good. I've actually been really...
How about Russ and Max?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So Russ and Max's 2-man game has been really good. And I even think Domas and Nick Clifford have looked really good together, and they've barely spent time together on the floor. But I don't know, maybe it's just too small of a sample size, or I just was hyper-focusing on it last night. But I just did not feel that Russell Westbrook and Domantas Sabonis were on the same page.
Yeah, and maybe it was because Russ was a little off last night. But yeah, I haven't seen that click as I have other, pairings.
Yeah. Well, Doug Christie trimmed his rotation down to 9 instead of playing Devin Carter last night.
I lost and you lost because
we both lost.
Dougie and
Doug McDermott didn't get in. Devin Carter didn't get in.
Yeah.
And again,
God blessing me with his body.
Doug Christie is trying to win this game, and he's trying to make sure that he beats Mike Brown. So maybe that had something to do with it. But look, no Malik Monk in that game. no Zach LaVine in that game. You know what that means? No log jam at the guard position excuse. That is a prime opportunity. If Devin Carter is ever going to get minutes as an actual part of the rotation just to see, that is a prime opportunity to do it. You didn't do it. So that tells me there is no hope. There is no possible opportunity that Devin Carter is ever going to play unless it's garbage time minutes at the end of a blowout. So the ship has sailed with Devin Carter. I think we already kind of knew that, but now it's like, yep, he can't get in, period.
Well, especially, Matt, because everything we've said, hey, this player isn't doing that, and then they get minutes the next game. It hasn't happened now. We said it, and it didn't come into fruition. So that's it. Devin's done. I'm trying to do a bit here, but you know what I'm saying. I really do think the ship has sailed for Devin Carter here. Now, whether or not what they do with him, I have no freaking clue. But I just think you're wasting a spot on this roster having him here.
You're wasting 4 of them. You have 4 guys.
Yeah, let's be real.
Maybe Drew Eubanks is not fair to call it a waste. Sarge is 100% a waste.
Yeah, I forget
Devin
he's on the
Carter
team.
is a waste. You can make a case for Doug McDermott and because you need guys at the end of the bench that don't really play, that are there simply for depth. So I guess I'm okay with 2 out of the 4 of them.
In fairness, we're 9 days away from Dario Saric has been waived day.
Yeah, well.
If the deadline's February 5th, February 6th is the Kings have waived Dario Saric day.
Thanks for keeping that full roster spot warm so Dylan Cardwell can take it later on this year. Well, one thing I always look forward to is when TC calls in, because he usually has a trade or two for us. TC, welcome into the show.
Hey, Kayla, what's up?
What's up, TC?
What about me?
Matt, man, what's up, bro? Hey, it's always love, bro. Hey, I was going to get around to that. Give me a minute. Hey, that's my dog. Hey, listen, so look, everybody give me a minute and really think about this, right?
Oh boy, here we go.
It's going to make sense in the long run with the Spurs, right? I know we're not into giving draft capital and all that, but I don't really, that's missing me with all that. If we're trying to rebuild and try to put this team together, you have to do that. You're not going to tank for 5 straight years and get 5 straight studs and think that, the rebuild is done. You have to make trades and you got to take gambles as well as tanking, right? So what I said with the Spurs is I'm back to the Spurs. I got Malik Monk, Nick Clifford, a 2027 first-round pick, and both of our second-round picks, which is Charlotte and ours, which is the high second round, maybe around 34, 37. So basically them is like late first-rounders for Stephon Castle and Jeremy Sohan.
Okay. TC, thanks for the call. Let's think about this.
So if you're watching on the YouTube chat, Matt got this look on his face, trying to think about it.
No, okay. So because I don't want to just go no.
Is it because you heard Nick Clifford involved?
Yeah, no, that's the deal breaker. No, I love, again, everybody on this roster is available for trade if the deal makes sense. I love the idea of getting Stephon Castle. I don't think the Spurs ever want to do this. Just so people know too, the De'Aaron Fox Malik Monk relationship is not what it used to be, by the way. So I don't know how thrilled De'Aaron would be to be reunited with Malik Monk anyway. And I don't think the Spurs need a Malik Monk more than they need a Stephon Castle. So I don't think the Spurs would ever do that. The Kings would not be happy at all to include their 2027 first-round pick because, guys, next season, the Kings are going to be bad.
They need those.
So they're hoping that they're going to be in the top 4, top 5 range the next 2 years. Now, one thing that TC said is correct. You're not guaranteed to get... If you can tell me that in 2027 draft, the Kings drafted a player that ends up being just like Stephon Castle...
Yeah, you're not guaranteed.
Then you're like, okay. So essentially, you're trading the 2027 first-round pick for Stephon Castle. Mm-hmm. But... you have to also keep in mind the situation that the Spurs are in. The Spurs are not looking at the Kings to trade Stephon Castle to get and I like Malik, but Malik doesn't fit there. Nick Clifford doesn't necessarily fit their timeline and what they're trying to do. They don't really need depth at either of those positions. That is going to be, both of those guys are worse than Stephon Castle. A 2027 first rounder pretty much means nothing to them unless they're going to immediately use that to go out and get Giannis. That's who they're focused on right now. That's who they should be focused on right now. So TC, I like the idea because essentially when you break it down, it's a lot of fluff around the 2027 first for Stephon Castle. And again, if you could tell me that they would take a player in 2027 that is the level of Stephon Castle, that's what the Kings should hopefully be doing. So I like that in theory. But getting there, ain't happening.
I like TC because he gets creative. He's not afraid to tell it how it is, and I love that. The Nick Clifford thing, too, what's interesting is, we keep forgetting, maybe we don't, he is 24 years old. He's an older rookie. Yeah. And, again, I think they're interested and excited to draft it or to develop him here. But when you're using him as trade bait somewhere else, I don't think that's as appealing.
Yeah, I don't think the Spurs consider that at all, and I know the Kings have no interest in giving up that 2027 first rounder. But we love TC, we love the ideas. Keep them coming, and if you have crazy trade ideas, you can always send them to us. You can reach us via the text line, 916-339-1140. You can send them in the YouTube chat if you're watching. Shout out to everybody watching on Sactown Sports 1140's YouTube channel live right now. Or, of course, like TC, you can just call in, 916-339-1140, 800-920-1140. But we're going to put a brief pause on Kings talk because maybe the Sacramento Kings of the NFL, the Cleveland Browns, well, I don't know. Can we call it a botch already with their head coaching selection? Well, Kayla, Kyle, and I will all discuss coming up next.
What's up? We're talking to my friend Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, tell everybody what's happening for the Start Something New sales event.
Kick off the new year exploring all California has to offer when you save up to $9,000 off MSRP on the new 2026 Jeep Wrangler Willys. This modern blend of nostalgia and military-inspired styling, coupled with enhanced off-road capability, is the epitome of what Jeep has always been.
It's great seeing this modern take on everything that has made a Jeep a Jeep.
I love how they're celebrating their Jeep history, and you can't miss the Jeep DNA everywhere you look. Whatever you're looking for, Hoblet is the place to go. From new Jeep Willys to hundreds of certified pre-owned vehicles at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter, with over 100 vehicles under $30,000.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$9,000 total net savings on select new 2026 Jeep Wrangler Willys after $4,500 factory rebates and $4,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $3,500 select inventory cash on select inventory, $1,000 conquest bonus cash for eligible non-SFS owners or lessees. 5% savings. See dealer for details.
This President's Day, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Two iconic comedians, one night of laughs. David Spade, Dana Carvey.
In 1998, they invented the cordless mic. Now let me just, listen, Paramount Theater, let's not jump on trends.
Even in the best marriage, at one point, you look over and go, not my best choice.
Friday, February 27th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now at visitthundervalleyresort.com. David Spade and Dana Carvey together.
The winter service event is on at Maida Subaru. Now is the time to let Maida Subaru get your Subaru road ready for the winter weather with exceptional savings on tires, brakes, wiper blades, and more. See all the service specials at maidasubaru.com.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
No matter how bad of a day you're having, you could be a Cleveland Browns fan. And if you are a Cleveland Browns fan and having a bad day, I'm really sorry.
I'm sorry. I have a lot of friends up there. I feel sorry for them.
And they have such a good fan base.
They really, very loyal.
The dog pound is all like, look, I don't have any rooting interest whatsoever in the Cleveland Browns at all. But I would enjoy the Browns return to relevancy the same way that I enjoyed like when the Cubs made their World Series run, the same way a lot of people enjoyed when the Sacramento Kings had that beam team year and got back into the playoffs. Like there's the sports fan, it's naturally fun to root for the underdog.
Right.
And the Cleveland Browns are a perpetual underdog. but it's because they perpetually do it to themselves,
Yeah,
Kayla.
or at least the top of ownership does, right?
So I am officially out. We have our sticky notes on the wall where we said we all guessed who would be the last team to make their head coach hire. And I put the Browns, so I'm out. So it's still between you and Kyle for the Raiders and Cardinals, the two teams left. Because the Browns hired former Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken as their new head coach, and we're already seeing fallout from this move. But before we get into that, both of you, gut reactions, because I know you have you both feel a certain type of way about this. Can we call it underwhelming hire?
Look, and maybe you had to Google his name in terms of Todd Monken. Look, to give him some credit before I say it's a bad hire, Todd Monken is primarily known recently for his work in Baltimore before he went over to the Chargers. So it's a situation where I think he did some good things in Baltimore. He was able to establish a rushing attack, but he did have some good weapons to work with. Lamar Jackson, who is one of those quarterbacks that is a dual threat. So I think that probably did help Todd. But clearly with what happened in Los Angeles this year, blame it on Justin Herbert getting banged up or just not being able to get over the hump. But everybody is always going to have a fall guy. And it wasn't going to be the head coach by any means. They expect more in terms of the Chargers with a quarterback like Justin Herbert, and they weren't able to get past that point again. I think it's an okay hiring. I think it's nothing overwhelming. Maybe that's good for Cleveland to have somebody who's just like a steady Eddie guy. But the biggest task right now is to develop Shedeur Sanders, if in fact he is your guy. And I just don't know if that's like Todd Monken match.
Yeah. Kyle?
I have never been other than David Culley with the Texans, I've never been so sure a coach is going to get fired after 1 year. I mean, Todd Monken he went through some head coaching interviews, but he was essentially just going to follow John Harbaugh, the fired coach in Baltimore, to the New York Giants to be an offensive coordinator. And when the Giants inevitably aren't as good as people expect they'll be, he would have been the sacrificial lamb who probably would have gotten fired in New York. He's 60 years old. He's not going to be around forever. Someone was reposting an old article when the last time he worked in Cleveland as the offensive coordinator under Freddie Kitchens. He was talking about how it's an absolute bleep show and no one knows what they're doing on offense. Now he's taking over that operation that doesn't look all that much better. You got your sticky notes over there. I'll put it on the board. Todd Monken's going to get fired.
After 1 year, huh?
By whatever Black Monday is, he will be fired by whatever that date is. I don't know, January 6th or 7th or whatever Black Monday is.
Well,
Todd Monken's going to be fired by that point.
And now it's like a more of an uphill battle for Todd Monken, too, because he's going to have to change around his staff more than maybe he thought. And of course, you always want to bring in your guys, but they had a really good defensive coordinator and still do right now in Jim Schwartz. But we don't know what's going on with that, guys.
It's going on the wall.
Schwartzy might be on his way out because it seemed like Jim Schwartz was going to be the head coach for the Cleveland Browns, and now it looks like he's like checking out, saying I'm out of here.
Yeah, that's the hilarious part of this story too, is because we talked about yesterday how certain candidates that they were very interested in were pulling out because they didn't feel, or they were being pressured to take on Schwartz as their defensive coordinator, right? They couldn't choose their own DC. They wanted Schwartz. So it's just like, okay, then just hire Schwartz. That's your guy. Just hire him then, if that's what you're going to do. And well, they do this, and now he's like, okay, fine, I'm out of here. Like he doesn't.
Why would I stick around and work for the guy who took the job I wanted?
Yeah. Awkward. So now he's like, okay. So the Browns, just the one thing that they like stood pat on throughout this process, they now just lost because, again, like self-inflicted wounds, man. I don't know.
Or they're going to force him to come back, which is going to be awful for everyone.
Because he's under contract, correct? And that's like the thing about all of this is because I know the 49ers are also interested in Jim Schwartz bringing him over as a defensive coordinator, which, by the way, I love Schwartzy, and he has a similar he runs similar defensive system, so I think it would work
To Robert
primarily.
Saleh?
Yeah. So the question is, though, can he get out of the contract? Because there is some sort of a contractual obligation. I don't know how that all works when, he worked for Stefanski, technically.
And it's like, that's all it is. It's just all caps. Everybody's just like, what are we doing? Why am I still here? I'm already getting my paper bag out. Like, how do you sell this move as the new face or leader of your franchise? How do you sell Todd Monken and this hire and this entire process with any kind of confidence to your fan base?
And you clearly don't care because you're just going to roll out a quarterback that you're waiting to draft another one.
Sure.
And that's the thing. Like, they don't even have for sure their guy. Like, they're saying that, this can be the guy, but we all know that was like their 6th choice. I'm being I'm being a little bit over dramatic there, but you know what I'm saying.
Didn't he start the season as the 5th stringer?
Yes, he did not get an opportunity also till late in the season to do it because everybody else was injured for the most part.
So the quarterback, the quarterback knows that he was like not the second, third, or fourth choice, and the head coach knows he was not he is the second, third, or fourth choice. They'll get along great.
Oh yeah, and then by the way, we have a defensive coordinator that doesn't want to be here now, and so he's probably gone.
Myles Garrett wants the heck out of it. It's the unwanted. You know what? That build a culture so unstable and bad that it becomes good.
Yeah, it's like I said, you go to die there in Cleveland.
Levels. There are levels to this. Well, the Browns at least have their coach. The Raiders and Cardinals still do not. We're waiting to find out who will end up taking those positions. And we're going to get into a little bit later in the show, guys, who the worst hire has been so far. It might be this one. So I don't want to spoil it.
I might change mine up.
Okay, because there are some questionable hires that are in there. There's some really good ones too. Like we've talked about, and of course your Titans background. Like I was surprised to see there was a article written by, and I should have saved it. There was an article written by, it was one of the blog sites for the Titans that was very,
one of the 50 million they
yeah,
have.
very anti the Saleh hire.
Oh, I could probably guess who it is.
And I was very confused as to why.
There's a lot of aggregators that do blogs there, so it's probably one of them.
Maybe, okay, so I just saw it and
yeah.
To me, I would think Saleh would be a universally loved hire, unless you really loved another candidate and are disappointed that you didn't get that one.
Sure. I'm getting the vibe that everybody, for the most part, likes that, and they really like the fact that Dayball is now over there. So.
Well, I'm excited. I'm curious about the Titans, which is the first time I've been able to say
right?
that in a long time. I'm curious about the Titans. I'm still curious about what the heck Tom Brady and my Raiders are going to freaking do. Figure it out, boys. We will see with that. But when we come back, we're going around the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo is, quote, ready for a new home. Jeremy Sohan wants out of San Antonio. The Warriors are talking to the Heat about a Kuminga deal. And, of course, we've got to tie the Sacramento Kings into all of this because that's what we do. It's coming up to start the second hour right here. Matt Kayla on Sactown Sports.
Listen to the #1 sports lineup in Sacramento.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Matt George, and Kayla Anderson. The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Every weekday live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Online at SactownSports.com or download the app right on your phone. Your #1 source for all your Northern California sports. Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now, the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on most beds with base. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at a Sleep Number store today.
Welcome to guided meditation. Close your eyes. You're at the beach. The seagulls are calling. You take out your iPhone 16e you got from Cricket and use Apple Intelligence to clean up that selfie you just took. It's a good one. You send it to your friends instantly thanks to reliable nationwide 5G. They're totally jealous. Get iPhone 16e for $49.99 when you switch. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Requires new line on the Supreme Unlimited plan. First service charge and tax due at sale. $25 activation fee. Terms and restrictions apply. Cricket 5G is not available everywhere. See store for details.
Planet Fitness has everything you need to get stronger just around the corner, so you can give everything you've got. Whether you want to crush a few reps before class with our expanded strength equipment or sweat it out on your way home from work. With over 2,800 locations, there's a Planet Fitness close to you, and most are open 24 hours. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends January 30th. Are you coming? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation, so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT this month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, Toyota. Let's go places.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140. It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Before we get into our Around the NBA conversation, Kayla, you and I were diving into the Browns hiring of Todd Monken, and you wanted to correct something.
Because Miguel, I'm glad that you corrected that. So this is what happens when you have a coaching cycle like this. There's so many things you're following with, like, who's a candidate somewhere. Yes, Todd Monken was with the Ravens. He was a strong candidate for the LA Chargers job. That is now Mike McDaniel. That's his job.
Yeah.
He just got that. So, wanted to correct myself on that.
Well, that's okay. It is a carousel of chaos after all around the NFL. We're not done talking the NFL. We'll rejoin and get back to the NFL coaching conversation a little bit later on at the end of the 12 o'clock hour. That'll be right before we speak to Tyler Rucker at 1 o'clock. He's a draft analyst for No Ceilings NBA. Excited to talk to him about this upcoming draft class and names that the Sacramento Kings should be keeping an eye on, from at the very tippy top, which is where I hope the Kings end up being, to maybe they fall out of the top 4, but how good are the prospects potentially in that range where the Kings could still potentially find a franchise cornerstone? We'll talk to Tyler about that coming up again at 1 o'clock. So we hope you'll tune in and join us for that. But for right now, Kayla, let's head around the NBA. By the way, welcome back into the Matt and Kayla Show. Matt George, Kayla Anderson, and we got Kyle Ledbetter on the other side of the glass going around the NBA. And so it begins from Shams. Giannis Antetokounmpo is, quote, ready for a new home, and the Bucks are now really listening to aggressive trade offers for him. I think we knew this was coming. We knew this was happening. We shared yesterday. Mark Spears, friend of the show, shared on social media, or shared, I don't remember where he shared it, to be honest with you, but he said that he thinks Giannis has played his last game as a Milwaukee Buck. Mm-hmm. So the league's been waiting for this, and now we'll wait for this shoe to drop. We know, or Giannis hasn't necessarily said that he wants out. In fact, he kind of said the opposite when he spoke with Sam Amick recently. But he doesn't need to say he wants out and is demanding a trade for us to know where things have been headed. And if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks too, as much as it sucks to lose a superstar the caliber of Giannis and the greatest player in the history of the franchise, Now I feel is the right time to do it. Now is where I feel like you could cash in more than anywhere else because there are going to be teams that are absolutely bidding for him because he has immediate championship impact ramifications right now. So I think the Bucks could really do well in a Giannis trade right now.
I'm sure they would love for it to be in a better trade market.
Sure.
I think that would be probably more music to their ears. But I do believe the timing is right because Giannis Antetokounmpo is still in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he is a little banged up right now, and I know that the Achilles, there's been some calf issues, and that sometimes can, knock on wood, lead to Achilles stuff. So hopefully that is not anything that Giannis has to deal with. So, yes, rest him right now if you can. But he is a difference maker. He is a game changer. Not to the level of like a Luka, but he is one of those guys that if you add him to the team and there's already just some talent there, he can help you get an NBA title, an NBA championship this year.
Do you think,
in my eyes?
Do you feel Luka is more of an impactful player than Giannis?
I almost do. Like, just because Luka's like something we've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And Giannis is to that level, but I guess what I haven't seen lately from Giannis is just like the consistency because he has been banged up. And so he's not like red hot right now.
Right.
But we
Also
know
older.
who Giannis is. And how much older is Giannis, by the way?
I think he's 3 years older than Luka off the top of my head, but I could be wrong.
So not like a great amount older, but he's still in his prime. Giannis is still in his prime.
Giannis is definitely in his prime. And I also wonder, too, like, not that he's faking injuries or anything like that, but does Giannis get traded to a contender and that injury now doesn't sound as serious as it was when he was in Milwaukee when there's not as much incentive to play right now?
Yeah, it's something to speculate.
About 4.5 years.
4.5 years. Okay, so even a little bit older than I thought.
Giannis just turned 31.
Like, right now, I think there's debate, I'm sure, going on about who's the favorite to land Giannis, who should really go after Giannis. The reality is every single team in the NBA, including the Sacramento Kings, are interested in Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Sure.
But the Kings are not going to, like, let's say the Kings go and we go, hey, here's 4 of our first rounders plus matching salary to bring Giannis in. As cool as that would be, what does that do? You have still taking a step backwards if you're Giannis from Milwaukee, who still at least has a little bit of a chance to Sacramento, which what the hell are you doing? So let's be realistic here. That's not how we're going to incorporate the Kings in the conversation, but we will in just a second. But if you're the Bucks, can you take advantage of the desperation of the New York Knicks right now that are like, we need to win a title this year? And if the Knicks get Giannis, the Knicks they should come out of the East. They should win a title regardless of if they're facing the Thunder or the Spurs or whatever. But I'd feel the exact same way about the Spurs and the Thunder. The Thunder are reigning champions, but they're a little bit wobbly right now compared to how they started the season. You put Giannis on the Thunder, and they have all the draft capital in the world to make a can't-refuse deal.
Yeah.
They're repeating. I'll stand on business and say, like, I think right now, if you plug Giannis Antetokounmpo into the San Antonio Spurs,
you said it yesterday.
Whether you move De'Aaron Fox in that deal and have Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper as your guard rotation, or you move one of Harper and Castle plus all the picks and whatever you need to do, and you have a core of Wemby, Giannis, and Fox, or Wemby, Giannis, and Castle, that team, I think, is winning the NBA Finals this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I feel like these teams are recognizing they're getting, like, there's one thing to get a win now talent. That is a win a title now talent. So will teams go all in with their assets in order to bring him in right now? I think the Bucks can cash in on that.
It's a win now title to the right team, right? And you just mentioned 2 teams that in the Knicks and San Antonio that are 2 of those teams.
Yeah.
From everything I have read and listened to, it does seem like Giannis's first choice, if he had a choice, would probably be New York.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Right? I don't think he would be like disgruntled by any means in San Antonio because there is opportunities to win now and the talent around you. But the thing that I ask you about, Matt Kyle, is the situation with how easy it is for each of these teams to do the deal. And I feel like the Knicks, they're a little bit more of there's a little bit more of a difficult situation with the Knicks compared to San Antonio.
Yes. Well, the New York Knicks do not have all of their assets the same way a San Antonio does. And I'm looking up their draft picks right now just so I get this right. Yeah, because they've used a lot of their draft picks already.
Right.
For moves like the Karl Anthony Towns move and moves like the The big one was the Mikal Bridges trade with the Brooklyn Nets. So they're like, it's not that they don't have any picks. They actually have 2 first-rounders in the 2026 draft, according to what I have in front of me.
And a bunch of seconds.
And a ton of seconds, too. But,
Yeah.
look, here's the thing. If you're the Milwaukee Bucks, because I am sympathetic to the Milwaukee Bucks because the Bucks are in a small market just like the Sacramento Kings are.
Sure. Smaller, I think.
And you hit an absolute home run with the drafting of Giannis. And those don't come around too often for you. And to be fair, you were able to turn it into a ring. That's where if you want to talk about the Luka-Giannis debate, like Luka hasn't won what Giannis has won. So, but time will tell. If I'm Milwaukee, of course I want to do right by Giannis. I want to express or show him the appreciation that I have for him and all the years that he's given to the Milwaukee Bucks and giving them a ring and everything like that. They don't want to end on bad terms by any means. But if you're Milwaukee, you cannot take pennies on the dollar. Let's call it, because you're not going to get pennies. You cannot take quarters on the dollar for Giannis. You cannot turn down a great deal for a good deal because Giannis would prefer the good over the great. And that's where I'm like, if I'm the Bucks, I am aggressively talking to the Spurs and aggressively talking to the Thunder and going, like, y'all are right there on the doorstep of a title, and I got the guy that doesn't just get it for you this year, but probably gets it for you next year because he's under contract for 1 more year after this year, right?
With a player option.
A player option, right. So, and those 2 teams, if I'm the Bucks, I'm prioritizing young talent now, which the Spurs can offer that better than the Thunder can, and draft compensation for the future, so I have a better chance to draft the next Giannis or my next franchise cornerstone and be right back in that picture. Like the Knicks cannot.
They can't do that.
The Knicks can't do it the same way that the Spurs and the Thunder can. So if the Spurs or the Thunder make that offer that you cannot refuse, you have to take that regardless of where Giannis wants to go, whether it's Miami or New York or wherever. The Bucks have to completely maximize this because they may never have a franchise player like this ever again.
Yeah. And so you're saying you're bringing him to the West.
Yes, and I'm like, but that's the thing.
Yeah,
like, I'm going against my heart here because I don't want Giannis in the West.
I know. It's
the
like
West
just
is already
another
it's
giant
brutal.
talent.
But then again, the Kings are going to be terrible for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So whatever.
So what is it gonna
like, it doesn't
do?
matter to us that much. I'm just saying, if I am Giannis, if I am the Bucks, San Antonio is it.
So what is in terms of young talent? Let's do San Antonio.
Yeah.
And what the Bucks would get.
Yes.
Because obviously we're talking picks, but in terms of talent and fit up there.
It would be one of either Castle or Harper.
Boom.
Devin Vassell, who's
Okay.
young-ish.
Jeremy Sohan, who wants out.
Jeremy Sohan, Keldon
that.
Johnson, who's
And-
not very young. But
And you're still demanding 3 picks on top of that,
Yeah.
which I think the Spurs would do in order to essentially buy a title with
It's not
Giannis.
bad. It's not bad.
the other part of the trade, too, is that the Bucks are going to try to reroute some of that stuff, whether it's picks or players, to either Portland or Atlanta or New Orleans because they own the rights to the Bucks picks.
So they want to free up their own picks.
Yeah, exactly. The Bucks can't tank because they don't own any of their picks until 2031. So they're going to try and reroute a lot of this stuff to either Portland, New Orleans, or Atlanta to get their own picks back.
We know the Thunder can offer probably more picks than anybody else. That's Sam Presti's MO. But the Spurs can offer a lot of picks and the young players that whether you need to use them to, like Kyle just talked about, free up your own draft compensation, or I just traded Giannis. I'm never getting the best player back in the deal, but I got 1 or 2 young guys that I can at least start a foundation with so that maybe when I cash in on a draft pick or 2 in the next couple of years, maybe we're not a title contender in the East, but we're right back into being a playoff team and we're starting to build. And it doesn't have to be like, you don't have to trade Giannis and be bad for 4 years. You can trade Giannis and be bad for a year or go through a transitional period, but get young pieces and be essentially reset to where now we're opening up a new title window for 5 or 6 years. That's very difficult to do,
right?
But you have the potential to do that right now with a team like San Antonio, with a team that is I think capable. And the question is, are they willing to give you both? And if I'm the Spurs, hell yeah, I'm willing to because I'm winning a title if Giannis and Wemby are my front court. I'm winning a title.
I think it's a better fit, and I think the Bucks could get more back that, like you said, satisfies them now, and there is maybe some youth there they can build around. Because remember, if you're the Bucks and you're making this trade, and and you're aware of what you're doing, you are trading away somebody who is really built up. I would even say helped build up that city and recognition of it.
Mm-hmm.
I know they have the Brewers, and there's the other professional team there with the Brewers, but I mean he got him a championship,
right.
And so you're gonna go from like having a guy like this in your community to being like, all right, we traded him, and then we have nothing now.
Yeah.
Like, we just have some picks.
Right.
Well, I think the other part, too, and this is kind of where I disagree with Matt a bit, is that that protecting that relationship with Giannis is so important to them that I think in terms of, like, just franchise value, they might be better off taking the quarters on the dollar offer to send him somewhere he wants to go, because
why?
That relationship with that player going forward is so important. And I get it's not the same with certain players, but because he's going to be one of those like statue outside the arena players to that organization. They cannot afford to mess up the relationship with him or create some sort of irreparable damage, which in fairness, the Blazers did the same thing with Dame and brought him back.
That's I hear what you're saying. That's so small market freaking thinking, though.
And they are
small market thinking, because Giannis gave you a ton. He brought you a title. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean that you are forever tied to Giannis and Giannis alone. If you're a bad organization like the Sacramento Kings have been, that's why we talk about freaking 2002 as much as we do, because we haven't had anything freaking relevant since. The Bucks have a chance to turn Giannis into something relevant in a handful of years, to where Giannis is a piece of some of the great title teams that Milwaukee has had.
I think it's got to be a mutual situation. I don't think Giannis can be unhappy. It's a business when it's all said and done. Like Milwaukee, he should know Milwaukee has to get something back in return that's going to satisfy them as well. And going to one of these teams that we just mentioned, I think all of them would be fine for Giannis. It's maybe not New York, but you can't have everything.
But when we say fine for Giannis, I think the bigger thing is a place where he's willing to sign a long-term extension, right? Because the team that is going to trade the most for him is the team that has the commitment from him that he's willing to sign an extension long-term.
Sure, but that's not the Bucks' problem. That is the problem of the team who's willing to take the risk and make the investment for Giannis.
But in theory, wouldn't you get the best offer from the team that's getting a 5-year commitment instead of a 1.5-year commitment?
I mean, in theory, yes, but that is out of the Bucks' control. The Bucks have nothing to do with that. Versus if I can, like San Antonio or a team like that will want to take that risk if it means they're winning a title. The Raptors took the risk on Kawhi Leonard, had him for a year, won a title, and no one talks about that in a negative way whatsoever. I know that's just one example. But like if the San Antonio Spurs offer you a better deal of picks and young talent compared to the Knicks, even though Giannis wants to go to the Knicks, and it's Karl Anthony Towns and a couple of draft picks, it's a no-brainer what's better for your organization. Do that, and it's not like Giannis is going to Charlotte. He's going to go win a title in San Antonio with Wemby.
Yeah.
No, that part's fair. It's just, again, even to your Kawhi point, and again, different circumstances of the exit and everything else, but the Spurs did that, and they still boo Kawhi Leonard when he returns. He is a finals MVP for that franchise and has no relationship or intends to have any relationship with that organization again, which fine, the Spurs...
Does that matter to them right now? They have Victor Wembanyama. Like,
now
who
it
cares?
does. Now it does, sure, but they've had to go through a lot of losing to get to that point, and the Bucks themselves are going to have to go through a lot of losing to get back to this point.
And they'll go through even more losing if they don't fully maximize the value they can get for Giannis. I think we're saying the same thing. We're just dancing around the point. You believe that they're going to get the maximum value by trading him to a place that he wants to re-sign to. Mm-hmm. I would argue that any team that is truly in the mix for Giannis, he will want to resign to, because they're all going to be title contending teams.
And can offer him the most money.
Unless, like, the only scenario I feel is where if he goes to San Antonio and he goes, wait a minute, I don't want to be second fiddle to Victor Wembanyama. But I don't think that's think that's a thing. You're winning if you're Giannis and you're traded to San Antonio and you re-sign with San Antonio, you should be winning minimum 2 rings over the next 5 years.
So, well, and I guess if I could sit down with Giannis Antetokounmpo and just straight up ask him, you're always going to want to win. That's the first and foremost thing that wants to be like on the top of an athlete's mind is you want to win the championship. But how much does being specifically in a place where you feel like you're closer to home, you're like it's a longer term, like I'm curious as to where those would weigh out because he would still think in his mind that he can win a championship in New York.
Yeah, well, he should feel like he's winning a championship no matter where he goes because the team that there's no scenario where Charlotte goes, here's 6 first-round picks or whatever that makes sense for anybody. Although a Charlotte first-round pick has more value than a San Antonio first-round pick does, for sure.
And they've weighed all these things out already, right? Remember, Shams reported that over the summer, the Knicks had an exclusive negotiating window.
Yeah.
Because Giannis said, I want to be a New York Knick.
Yeah.
And they had the exclusive window.
Yeah.
And the Bucks did the thing that the Kings weren't willing to do with De'Aaron Fox and essentially said, we don't like your offer, so we're just going to keep Giannis into the start of the season.
They did the competent thing. Yeah,
yes.
Exactly, which is we have a piece that we know is valuable and we have time.
But now they're essentially up against what is essentially a hard deadline because if you take it to the offseason, you've got a 1-year rental. Mm-hmm. Then you really have to lock in on teams that he wants to re-sign with. So now that they're up against a hard deadline and maybe they'll get better offers, I feel like if Giannis is still like, I only will re-sign with the Knicks, you kind of just take the Knicks offer and figure out the rest later.
Only if the Spurs offer is not there. Or the Thunder offer is not there. If you're the Bucks, you take what you feel is the best offer that sets you up for the future, regardless of how Giannis feels about it. But if the offers are the exact same, and now you're sitting at a table going, okay, we can again, I don't think a Knicks offer can hold a candle to what the Spurs or the Thunder could offer. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean the Spurs or the Thunder are going to offer it. So if the Spurs or the Thunder say, we know the Knicks can't offer what we can, but we're still not going to offer that much because we feel like we don't have to, and now the offers are comparable, then you probably go, okay, Giannis, you want to go to New York, let's get that done. But the Knicks, I don't think, can put an offer on the table that is, you cannot refuse this compared to other teams, and that's what the Bucks should prioritize because ultimately they have to do what's best for that organization. It's not LA, it's not Miami, it's not Dallas. You're very unlikely to be able to quickly fix things by getting a free agent in that building.
I still am not convinced it's going to happen by the trade deadline. And I say that because this has been the ongoing thing with Giannis. I mean, it was the one that was supposed to move everything.
It's been brewing.
And I just think it's like, are we now heating it all up too? Because obviously these teams want to make it work, and they're putting the pressure on, Milwaukee and these other teams that are interested to make it happen now. Because this is the headline. This is the headline that we have been waiting for. Giannis Antetokounmpo, where does he go? And we're still kind of just tiptoeing around if it's actually going to happen.
Yeah.
And now with the latest Shams report.
Right.
I feel like it's just another little bit of a breadcrumb, but it's like, is it really going to happen?
It's like the entire league's going to be on hold. Whether if it happens at the deadline, and we all want this to happen sooner than later, because if this goes into the summer, to your point, Kyle, it's going to command the summer.
Yeah.
So everybody is rooting for this to happen right now. And to tie this back to the Sacramento Kings, because of course that's what we do, the Kings' involvement in a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade is not going to be to bring Giannis to Sacramento.
No.
But a Kings' involvement in a Giannis Antetokounmpo trade is when you have something that's this massive and teams are going to want him, and it's going to be a haul to get him.
Yeah.
A third or fourth team wants to work their way into that to help facilitate it.
Yep.
And that's where the Kings... So the two major effects of this news today are this. One, Zach LaVine to Milwaukee, that's kaput.
That ain't happening.
The whole reason for Milwaukee to want Zach LaVine would be to try and convince Giannis to stay. That's over and done with. So I don't even think we can continue to have that
They're going to part
conversation.
ways regardless at some point.
It just feels like that's inevitable. So bringing in Zach LaVine and taking that unnecessary risk out of desperation makes no sense for Milwaukee to do at this point. The other part is, how does Scott Perry weasel his way into a multi-team deal to where it's not going to be a massive return for the Kings, and the Kings aren't going to be part of the blockbuster, other than maybe they can get a contract dump in there or get a less valuable pick, whether it's a late first or a couple of second rounders. the Kings are going to try and weasel their way into this, but so are like 20 other teams. So
Yeah.
try and facilitate. Be the facilitator.
Be the facilitator. And I know there aren't like great parts to work with here in Sacramento right now in terms of getting in some of these deals. But even if there is little bit of movement, like you mentioned, like with Keon or even a Malik Monk in the situation, or again, I'm still on DeMar DeRozan. Like, find a way to get him involved in one of these trades.
I don't understand why.
And the value is there. The value is freaking there for teams that want to compete in the playoffs and just need at least bring him for the depth piece or coming off the bench just because you know what you're going to get out of a guy like him. And I think he can fit, with a lot of teams. So you got to, if you're Scott Perry, you got to be in every one of these little things. And you're right. That is why we hope Giannis is moved, because there are more opportunities then to get in on those 3-4 trades.
Yeah, if Perry is having conversations over the phone with Milwaukee or New York or San Antonio or any of these teams that are trying to be involved in Giannis, it's we are here and we are ready to do what needs to be done within reason to facilitate this trade. But again, Scott is going to be one of many who are trying to do this because you can get good value for facilitating trades.
Yep.
The San Antonio Spurs facilitated the DeMar DeRozan trade to Sacramento and ended up getting a pick swap out of it,
right?
Which is going to be in their favor because the Kings pick more often than not is going to be worse than the Spurs pick. That was in 2031. So look, like being a facilitator, it's not great. It's not sexy. It's not something that we can do hour-long segment of a podcast or a radio show on. But if the trade market is as tough as it seems to be, and you have so many assets that you can't move, finding a way to sneak a big contract or sneak away with a pick of some variety from a Giannis trade is a big win for a team like Sacramento and a big win for a lot of teams, even contenders who I think are going to want to try and sneak in to facilitate this. Although they might not be too happy that they're helping send Giannis, unless it's an Eastern Conference team. They're like, send Giannis to West.
If that's the case, I was watching Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross, Chris obviously Verlad, and they were mentioning that most of the time when a big trade happens with like a big name, they actually go opposite conference.
Very often.
So,
because you want to get them the heck out of here.
They're like, we ain't trading it to the Eastern.
Also, sometimes they won't even tell the team that you're part of it. Do you remember Danny Ainge helped facilitate the Luka trade, but they didn't tell Danny Ainge that's what he was doing. They just said, do you want 2 second-round picks and you take Jalen Hood-Schifino? And he was like, yes.
Sneaky. Hey, there are always ways to play the game. It is a game. But what's funny is that's a perfect segue into what I want to talk about in the next segment, because the Golden State Warriors are having a conversation with the Miami Heat around a Jonathan Kuminga trade. Now, by the way, the Miami Heat are a team that are considered to be in the mix for Giannis as well. So maybe this will be on hold because of the Giannis situation. And the Warriors have apparently made an offer for Giannis too, and it's like, it's pathetic. Well, it's not pathetic, but it's not what others can offer, at least reportedly. But this Warriors-Heat trade conversation around Kuminga is hilarious because, like you just talked about, it makes perfect sense we don't want to send Jonathan Kuminga an hour and a half up I-80 to Sacramento and have to deal with it. So we'll send him to the other side of the country.
Exactly.
We'll talk about that deal, plus which big trades or big names would make more sense to be traded in the offseason for the Kings and around the NBA compared to right now. That's all still to come here on Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
If you're serious about your golf game, then you need to know about Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Whether it's the TrackMan-powered player performance studio for your best fit clubs, or the cutting-edge technology putter fitting studio, or the free Ballnamic ball fitter and 3D foot scanner, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop offers you total game fitting from head to toe with equipment and apparel. Find your advantage at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop with the latest offering of new golf products in Northern California. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Join Sactown Sports Downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In Shape Fitness Kings Rally towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Emran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mami, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6A to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
There's the hard way to buy a car, and then there's the Hoblet way. Transparent prices, fast paperwork, and a team that's there to help, not hover. We've spent 77 years refining this process so you can get in, get out, and get driving with zero drama. Car buying doesn't have to be stressful. At least, not when you do it the Hoblet way. Experience the difference at HobletDodge.com. The easy way to buy.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Kayla and I were just having an off-air conversation about, like, at what time of day does it feel like or become afternoon, especially with your eating habits. And I think we're on the same page. Like, I don't eat breakfast food after, like, 10 a.m. I feel like it's weird. But I eat bowls of cereal more late at night than I do in the morning.
Matt, first of all, my nephew, Easton. Can I share this real quick?
Go for it.
So remember I told you I made my mom watch Sacramento Kings basketball when she was visiting?
It's very rude.
Well, last night, I didn't have to make anybody watch Sacramento Kings basketball. I was up in my room because I watch things intently. I don't like watching them in groups when I'm doing homework along with my viewing. And my little nephew, Easton, comes in. And he voluntarily sat on the bed.
Good kid.
Sat down and said, he said, what are we watching? Are these the Kings? I said, yes. He said, are the white jerseys? Yes. And he goes, okay. And he sat down with me and he was asking questions.
Wow.
He was getting excited about certain plays when those plays were actually made, mostly the DeMar DeRozan. But I was like, this is awesome. He was like, really interested in the game. He just started playing. So
young and interested, but and innocent before the Kings taint it.
Exactly.
I love that. Yeah, my son, I'm starting to, this is what's nice about this job now is I'm able to watch road games at home with my kid, and my son is into basketball. He has a little basketball hoop in the backyard that he loves to shoot on. But my son doesn't sit down to watch anything, period, for long periods of time. He's 4. But we're getting there. We're getting there with Kings basketball. I'm like, look, son, I'm about to ruin your life. Here are the Raiders, here are the A's, and here are the Kings. You will not know happiness.
Maybe he'll be braver than you and pick other teams.
Maybe.
Brave?
He might step out
Disloyal,
at least
you
with
mean?
football, because
Hey.
that's kind of the weird thing that you guys do is, like, y'all root for different teams for different reasons.
Listen, my wife married me because she knows I am a loyal person because of the teams that I root for, and I can't leave them even if I wanted to. So there you go. There's that. If I had a dating profile, which thank God I don't, because online dating is terrifying. I never had to do it, and I never want to. But that would be my bio. I'm a Kings, A's, and Raiders fan, so you know I'm loyal.
And he likes cereal.
And I like cereal at night, and I love the Traders.
Well, that's the nice way to frame it, is that you're loyal.
What's the mean way to frame it, Kyle?
Well, that you're a loser.
Oh.
I don't like that.
That was hurtful.
Kyle, you should know, too, because We all. I mean, the Seahawks. I'm lucky. 'cause I
Spoken
got
like
the
a
Seahawks.
smug ass
No.
Kansas City fan.
Oh yeah.
Smoke.
No.
Not
But
you.
the Padres-
No.
Smug ass
But the
Kansas City
Padres-
fan. I won 7 rings in 8
Chargers.
years.
You don't know the scars that I had to go through to get there,
Bro,
Matt.
you're 4.
You've been
You've been a lot ever since you were born. The Chiefs have been good.
I've seen pain, Matt.
Relax. You've
I've
seen nothing.
Rooted for the Chargers,
You know nothing.
the Kings, the Padres. I didn't know the playoffs until I was 20 years old.
You jumped ship from the Chargers to the Chiefs?
Yeah, we've talked about this before, right?
No, we've
Yeah.
never done this.
Well, so
I didn't know this either.
See, disloyal. Don't date him. Don't date
No,
him. He'll leave you for the
no.
next when the
better
Patrick
looking
Mahomes
girl,
of dating options
Yeah.
comes out there. He'll jump ship.
No, I have an excuse because
Okay.
I am born and raised in San Diego, California. And so growing up, you root for the Chargers. The Chargers leave. I stop rooting for the Chargers. And then I
just go to the best team that's available.
No.
I just hop on the bandwagon.
I picked them when they had 0 championships, 0 AFC championships. I got in early on the Kansas City game.
Don't believe you.
Okay, what I will real quickly side with Kyle on.
Nope.
Is when a team like the Chargers leaves and go to LA of all places, they would probably lose my fandom too.
Well, yeah, it just started off as I was just like, okay, well, I'm not going to root for a football team. And then the origin story is that whatever year Patrick Mahomes was a rookie or sophomore, whatever it was, his first year, I had him and Tyreek Hill on my fantasy team, and I won a fantasy football championship. And I was like, I'm going to root for him now.
The rest was history.
And from
Matt
there,
ain't buying it. Matt ain't buying it.
but that's I understand it sounds dumb and stupid. It's all those things, but you know what? It just happened that way. I didn't pick this, but I'm a happier, healthier person because I did. I didn't choose this life, but I'm glad I got it because my God, have I been rewarded so wonderfully.
Yes, you have.
I'm gonna, from the next break, if you don't mind coming back to "Loyal" by Chris Brown.
I love that song,
would
by
be-
the way.
Or we could go with "Loser" by Beck.
It applies to this situation. No, Kyle's great.
He didn't sound so sure.
As long as he doesn't become like a Golden State Warrior fan or whatever, then we'll have to have conversations. The Warriors, we know they've been stubborn in this entire Jonathan Kuminga situation, and now there are alleged reports, there are reports of alleged conversations, I should say, that happened between the Heat and the Warriors surrounding a Jonathan Kuminga for Andrew Wiggins swap.
Yeah.
Now, Wiggins, of course, former Warrior, won titles with the Warriors alongside Steph Curry. The Warriors are desperately looking for someone to fill the gap of the loss of Jimmy Butler, who had the ACL, right? ACL injury. So I get it, I guess, but it's funny to me for 2 reasons. Number one, the Warriors have talked about, we don't want to take money back. We don't want to take money back. We don't want to take this much money back. Oh, but here's a $30 million player. He is on a player option next year. To be fair, it's a 1-year deal, but it's fully guaranteed. If he accepts that option, which I believe he will, it's a $30 million payday.
Sure,
so you're
it's a
willing to
chunk of
acquire
change.
a $30 million 1-year contract. All right, be my guest if that's what you want to do. And I guess that's what they paid Jonathan Kuminga. The amount of money they paid him for is to be able to acquire a contract like that. So whoop-de-doo for you. But we had Bonte Hill from NBC Sports Bay Area on with us last week, and we were talking about this Kuminga situation. And one of the things Bonte said is very true in this situation. We know that Joe Lacob has had an infatuation with Kuminga in the past. I don't know if he still does, but he was a big fan of Jonathan Kuminga, wanted Kuminga there, wanted it to work out with Kuminga. And Bonte talked about, well, the Warriors don't necessarily want to send Kuminga. Like, the Kings being so close pays a factor, because if you send him an hour and a half down the road and he becomes something in Sacramento that he was never able to become in Golden State, or he didn't become because you didn't give him the opportunity to become that, now you have to wear that. You have to face him 4 times a year, and he's right next door to you. And that's tough. So here you are. We're willing to trade him all the way across the country to Miami to get him as geographically far away from us as possible. I know that does play a factor, and I'm just being a bitter Kings fan in this conversation. I get the interest in Wiggins because he's a familiar face. They know he's done it before, although he's older now. I don't know if Wiggins moves the needle that much for them, but I guess it is a short-term improvement over just keeping Jonathan Kuminga while Jimmy Butler is out.
It's interesting because it's like, I get it, like Lakem owns the team, but like Steve Kerr is coaching the team, and Steve Kerr is tasked with trying to get the most out of this team while Steph Curry is here. And so it's how stubborn is he? Do I think it's more appealing? Probably, obviously, to Kings fans, it's more appealing to do a trade with them. And honestly, I think that the Warriors could get more back that makes sense. I think just having the familiarity with Wiggins, like, okay, that's cool. They've had enough reunions in Golden State. I don't really think that moves the needle too much. Plus, it's that $30 million that you're dealing with as well. I think Lakem just needs to stop being so stubborn and get the guy out that does not want to be there, that Steve Kerr does not want to coach, and just get some in return, if it's a 3-team deal, whatever. Or what were we saying for them to get from Sacramento? Like
DeMar DeRozan,
and
maybe Keon
or something.
And like a second, maybe.
And just call it that. And you know what? If you have to see Kuminga have success 2 years down the road here, it's one part of your history you don't have to deal with. That's why I can't stand this. And I think it is part of it. I actually do think it's part of it.
You think it's petty?
I think it is. I think it is.
Petty Warriors.
They haven't done a deal with the Sacramento Kings since the 90s.
Yep.
Do you think that is coincidence?
Yeah, they don't want to share with the neighbors. I get it. Well,
they're traumatized from the Mitch Richmond trade.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, let's put it this way. I don't think Kuminga's getting moved, period.
No, I
like,
don't either.
all that's been reported is that the frameworks of a deal had been discussed. It's not like anything is close, and maybe it does happen. I don't think Kuminga to Sacramento is happening at this point because of the stubbornness of the Warriors. Plus, like, I just don't think the Kings have anything that is going to change the Warriors' mind.
Yeah.
I think if they were truly interested in like a package involving Keon as a sweetener, maybe it would have been further along than it is right now. And maybe something happens at the 11th hour, like right at the cusp, but I'm not holding my breath for it.
Do you think if they did decide to give him a first rounder? Because that was something they had asked for in the first place.
I think if the Kings put a first rounder on the table, I think the Warriors would say yes. Because can you expect better? Plus, a Sacramento Kings first round pick is valuable as hell.
Yeah.
And maybe then you go, okay, well, the Kings should put the Minnesota Timberwolves 2031 first round pick on the table. Well, we don't know if that pick is going to be good either, because who knows what the Timberwolves are going to be in 2031. Ant might be gone by then because he, like Giannis, sees the end of the road in Minnesota. So, the Kings are not interested in including first-round picks, nor should they be for Jonathan Kuminga. I don't think the Kings want him that desperately by any means, and the Warriors can't expect that at this point with the fact that they've driven down Kuminga's value into the absolute dirt. So, we'll see what plays out with this. I think Kuminga is going to be one of a handful of players that is going to be talked about being moved in the summertime.
In the summer. Stays now.
No,
I think there
right
could be
now.
a lot of moves in the summer. So
I would hope so, because last summer was boring as hell. But coming up next, we're going to keep the energy on this show going because we got Pick a Side. Kyle's got some topics. Maybe we agree. Maybe we disagree. You can jump into the conversation as well. 916-339-1140, 800-920-1140. AC, I see you on the line. Stick with us. We'll get you when we come back.
There are many reasons to choose Gonzalez Law Offices as a dedicated trial lawyer with an undefeated record from 2016 through 2019, and you'll know that no case is too big or too small. Due to his success, hard work, and commitment to excellence, attorney Jonathan Gonzalez has been listed in Super Lawyers Rising Stars, as well as in the top 40 under 40 list by national trial lawyers. You can find Gonzalez Law Office online at saclegaldefense.com or call him at 916-304-9187.
Award-winning guitarist and songwriter Gary Clark Jr. Tour 2026, Saturday, January 31st, 7 p.m., the venue at Thunder Valley. An electrifying night of music with Gary Clark Jr. Special guest, Marcus King Band. On sale at the venue at Thunder Valley. For tickets, visit thundervalleyresort.com. Gary Clark Jr. Live.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Guys, your New Year goals start now. Get limited time savings on our most popular treatments at Revive Men's Health. Visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com to see if you qualify to save hundreds.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/fast. That's ethos.com/fast.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the theme song for Kyle Ledbetter leaving the Chargers to become a Chiefs fan.
These ain't loyal.
Right on the bandwagon. Right on the bandwagon.
These ain't loyal.
Stay with the A's. Stay with the Kings. Stay with
that's
the Raiders
right.
and win no rings. Hey. Oh. No?
I'm sorry, that was a bar.
Well, it's the only bar we got.
I was gonna yell at you for still being an A's fan, but you know what?
I could so.
Oh yeah, you are an A's fan.
Yeah, I am.
Forgetting that.
I am an A's fan.
Okay.
And in all seriousness, when the Raiders left Oakland, I tried so hard to become a Niner fan. And in my career, I cover the Niners way closer than I cover the Raiders.
Yep.
I watch more Niner football from a professional standpoint than I do Raider football.
Mm-hmm.
I went to the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. I went to the Raiders Stadium to cover the Niners.
Yeah.
And Allegiant Stadium is incredible, by the way. Gorgeous
I've heard
place.
it is. I haven't been
It's
yet.
unbelievable. Like, you understand why they left Oakland for it, but it's just also the tourist destination for the opposing team, not the Raiders.
Sure.
Regardless, I tried so hard. Like, I'm a fan of Levi Stadium. I'm a fan of the atmosphere. One of the favorite things I did every single year for ABC 10, my partner Kevin John and I would go to typically the season opener.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd get there early, so we'd do a story on the tailgate.
Yeah.
And Niner fans were wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were very, very wonderful, very welcoming. Of course, we're carrying TV cameras and microphones and stuff, so they want to get involved.
they want to get involved.
They're offering us drinks that we're on the clock that we can't accept.
That's always a thing.
We met a family because the first game a handful of seasons ago was when the Rams were in town.
Mm-hmm.
And we met a family who's from LA that comes up because they have family in Santa Clara. And they come up every single year to the Rams Niners at Levi Stadium, but they own restaurants. So they're making their full spread of the most delicious tailgate food, and they're feeding us. Long story short, I've had wonderful times covering the Niners, but I couldn't do it.
And I
could
respect that too.
not
I
do
respect
it.
it.
I hate watch the Raiders. I hate my own team.
It's pretty
but
bad.
I can't do it. I can't do it. And it's the same thing with the A's. We will, when baseball season starts, if y'all don't know how much I dislike John Fisher, you will learn very quickly. I cannot stand that man. I can't stand him. I think he is evil and horrible for the game. Horrible for sports, period. But I love the A's. I don't blame those A's players one bit. There are wonderful people that work for that organization. It's cool that they're here in West Sacramento. And I could never, ever leave the A's to become a Giants fan. I could never do it.
Well, that's in a whole other level.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
That's a whole another level.
And I tease Kyle. I don't
loyal.
blame him for my team left my city. They left me, so I'm going to go pick another team. And he
To
just
each
so
his your own.
happened to pick the Chiefs, who became the dynasty. So good for him. He chose well.
It paid off to be a smart sports fan.
Boy, did it.
All right, let's pick a side.
Boy, did it. Well, before we pick a side really quick, we got to get AC because he held during the break. Sorry, AC, you had to listen to that blabber from me. How are you, my friend?
No, that's good. You know what? This is like Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm an A's fan, too.
Hey! We'll see you at the meeting.
A for A's.
So this is the first time calling into the mid-morning show. So you mid-morning youngsters, great job.
Thank you.
I was a little perplexed when I saw this long rant podcast from a certain individual in the studio, and he never said where he was going after he left the podcast. That was the funny part.
Things I couldn't say things at the time, but trust me, I've been made fun of, including by Kings players for that video.
Yeah. Anyway, you guys are a great team, and we're still on Kuminga watch. I think anyone that takes Wiggins now is a little crazy. He's definitely been used up, and he's not, like you said, someone that would move the needle. But I'd love to get Kuminga. I don't know what the team's going to look like next year. No one really does, but I love the lottery watch now.
Yeah.
AC, I understand, man, and trust me, we're going to get deep into the lottery watch. Hopefully you'll tune in at 1 o'clock as well when we have Tyler Rucker from No Ceilings, NBA draft analyst. He's going to join us as we start talking about the talent in that lottery range. But right now, Kyle, it is time to pick a side. What are we talking about today?
Oh, look at this.
Oh.
I'm like at a rave.
New vibes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, pick a side. First pick a side for today. The 49ers are one of the 16 teams eligible for Hard Knocks this summer. Pick a side. Hard Knocks should be retired.
I strongly disagree.
Whoa!
Strongly disagree. I am who Hard Knocks is created for. Hard Knocks gets me every year. Hard Knocks hooks me into caring about a team that I do not care about. And now we should also start talking about Hard Knocks as the coach killer, because
the curse.
Yeah, the curse to coaches,
teams.
because if you're on Hard Knocks, you might get fired in the next year or two.
Yeah.
Hugh Jackson, Cliff Kingsbury, John Gruden.
Yeah. Was Saleh
Robert Saleh with the Jets, and then of course Doug McDermott. I did it! I did it!
Oh, you owe me an energy drink. That's okay. You just bought me an energy drink. So look at that.
You know what I meant. McDermott from the freaking... I can't...
I passed it on to Matt.
did.
It's contagious.
Yes, it is. Getting names wrong on this show is going to be a problem that we suffer for years. But McDermott with the Buffalo Bills. Regardless, I love Hard Knocks. I think it's great. I do not think it would be great for the Niners, though, because...
What, the injuries?
Well, I mean, I'd love the episode dedicated to the power station next door and all that. Don't get me wrong. Kyle Shanahan would murder somebody if he had to do Hard Knocks.
There's no way.
It's never going to
There
happen.
is
But
no
I
way.
like Hard Knocks.
You gotta retire this stuff, man. You gotta retire it. Look, we already get reality TV behind the scenes from all these players who have podcasts of their own and who are tweeting, TikToking, and doing Instagram Live. We pretty much see what goes on anyways in their lives. I am just kind of worn out. The storylines are kind of boring at this point. I used to get really up for it, and now I'm just I feel like they're stretching because they have Hard Knocks, the preseason, they have Hard Knocks in season.
In season sucks.
It's just too much
in
going
season
on.
sucks.
Yeah.
Preseason's good. In season sucks.
Let it rest.
Wow, for the first time in Pick a Side history, I get to be the tiebreaker for you two.
Whoa.
You've never disagreed.
Oh, Kyle's going with your side. I already know it. I'm just going to take the L.
I am on Team Kayla.
Shocking!
For slightly different reasons. It's just that I would be into Hard Knocks so much if they gave us actual access. But the teams,
they control it.
They can block things that go out there. And because I used to think Hard Knocks was the coolest thing ever. And the thing that ended it for me was Hard Knocks had the Raiders the year Antonio Brown froze his feet and had the helmet, and they just never acknowledged it. I was like, you've been given a gold mine, a gold mine of Hard Knocks content, and they just never acknowledged it. I was like, okay, so this is worthless. You're just giving me puff pieces about guys that are going to get cut. and maybe they're cool, but you're not giving us any of the actual real stuff.
I'm the sucker that falls for Hard Knocks every year, and I don't care. I like it. And it helps me kill the time in the preseason because the preseason sucks. All right, what's next, Kyle?
Next up, Brooks Koepka in golf. I don't know if you guys know this story.
Oh, yes.
Left Live is going back to the PGA Tour. Debuts this weekend in beautiful San Diego, California at the Farmers Insurance Open. I've played that course before.
I am booing him.
No.
Have you met the guy?
Well, no.
I can't stand Brooks Koepka.
Oh, what'd he do?
I used to cover the PGA Tour.
Was he mean to you?
It was in Tucson, Arizona at the time. They had Accenture Match Play. It was a snowstorm in Tucson, Arizona. And we had to grab guys. You just grab them off the course. They did the little bell because play was canceled at the time or postponed.
Yep.
And it's your job to just grab the guys coming off the course. And I went to go grab, Brooks Koepka. Hey, what do you think about the weather? Completely denied me. Was a total you-know-what about it.
Aww.
From then on, I have hated that man. He went to live. He was a traitor. And now he wants to come back because it didn't really work that well over there. Well, no duh, Brooks Koepka. I'm booing your you-know-what.
Wow. Well, Kayla's mad because you turned down an interview. I think booing Brooks Koepka is dumb for him taking the bag that I think almost all of us would take if it was offered to us. But you know what? I'm not going to argue with Kayla, one, out of fear, and two, because she actually has skin in the game, apparently. I have not met the dude. He was mean to my partner, so you know what? Screw you, Brooks Koepka.
Let's go.
But smart on you to take the money, and I don't blame you for it.
You guys aren't going to believe this.
What?
He disagrees?
I disagree with both of you.
Okay, there we go. Well, I kind of picked both sides. You kind of half agree.
No,
with me.
you picked a side. You agreed with Kayla, like you do every time.
Yeah, because we're 23 and 24 of May.
Yeah, we're homies.
Except about Hard Knocks for some reason.
Yeah.
But you've agreed about everything else. I disagree, and people who have heard me for a while know about this because they call in and yell at me about this.
Yeah, because you deserve it.
It's just a principled stance. I don't think you should boo another grown adult.
Oh, well, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Boo! Yeah. Boo!
Yeah, people call
Kyle.
in and boo me. Don't be a grown adult booing other grown adults.
Boo! I'll boo who I want to boo when I pay my money to boo. Boo!
No, I disagree vehemently. You grow up. You're a grown adult. You don't have to boo another grown adult. This is ridiculous.
You're right. I'm going to boo while doing the floss cam at a game.
Yeah,
That's a little too much.
There we go.
Or the 6-7 cam, which the Kings do, and the Kings have been bad ever since they started the 6-7 cam.
I even hate bringing this up because every time it comes up, everyone on the text line and the YouTube and people call in and start booing me.
Good. Boo Kyle Ledbetter. But we have Stuart on hold, by the way. Stuart, we see you. We're going to get you to the top of our lunch break segment coming up after the break. But we still got more time.
Do one more?
We got more time, so we got to get another one in. Pick a side.
Do the last one.
All right. Last one based on our adventures this week. Oh, sorry, did you want the last one on
the last
there?
One.
The last, not the one above that.
No, I like this one. I didn't see this.
We'll do this.
I guess Kayla's.
Okay, no, this was a me suggestion.
Oh,
but
okay.
Kayla seems passionate about it. Okay, wearing open-toed shoes like flip-flops or sandals in public places should be more socially acceptable.
Well, if it was just an airplane, first of all, I wear open-toed shoes to the grocery store or to run to the drugstore. I didn't think that was unacceptable. Now, on a plane, when your feet are stanky, and first of all, it's too cold on a plane to wear open-toed
that's pretty crazy.
flip-flops.
That's crazy behavior.
That, specifically to a plane, is ridiculous. It should not be socially acceptable. But if anywhere else, running around errands, all that, totally fine with it.
Nah, if you're not at a beach or not at a pool, put them away.
Okay.
Put them away. I don't care if they're manicured. No. I don't care if they're colorful.
Yeah,
put them
mine are
away.
manicured.
Get your dogs out. Like, if I'm in the grocery store, I don't want my Ritz cracker box to be within 15 feet of your dogs walking down the aisle. Get some sanitary. Hell no. Put them away.
My dogs look pretty.
Here's the thing. We have to test Kayla now because I'm a beach bum from San Diego. I wear flip-flops pretty much everywhere.
Boo
so,
him.
Kayla, restaurant.
Oh, God, no.
In the summer, yes.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Get your toes away from my
Not
food.
in the winter, but the summer.
Hell no.
All right, let's go sporting event that you're not professionally covering.
Oh, if it's in the summer, yes.
I'll be all right. 'Cause at least it's in the open air at like a baseball stadium, and I'm already around 18,000 of you psychopaths.
Okay, so me and Kayla are on the same page here.
But
Yes.
if you wear open-toed
I would wear it on an airplane.
to a restaurant, the
Really?
restaurant fails the health inspection, shut it down. Hell no. Get your dogs away from my food. Absolutely not.
Woof.
Get your dogs away from my food. That's Pick a Side. And coming up next, we got lunch break. You can call in 916-339-1140, 800-920-1140. Don't just call in and boo Kyle, although that's great to do. Call in and get involved in the conversation because we're going to talk more about a DeMar DeRozan trade destination that I haven't heard anybody talk about that I think makes a lot of sense. That's coming up next right here on Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Big tax changes this year could mean a bigger refund, and Jackson Hewitt knows how to get you your biggest. You'll get $100 just to try us. That won't make you filthy rich, but definitely gas plus groceries rich. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back, which would make you low-key loaded. Or at least wealthy adjacent? Go with our trusted pros and get $100 to switch. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
This is that new Bruno.
Oh, is this the new Bruno?
This is the new Bruno track,
Okay.
and I love Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars is like one of my top 3 favorite artists.
So talented.
I love Bruno, although I don't love him enough to spend my entire life's savings in order to go and see him when he comes to Levi Stadium.
Well, good news. He doesn't have his life savings either.
Yeah, because he gambled him away.
Hey, leave Bruno alone.
Hey, that's how you know. That's how you know this album is going to be amazing.
That's true.
Like
It's a
Justin
comeback
Bieber
album.
doing a double album. I'm like, you're comfy, you got a kid, you're having a good time. Bruno, fueled by gambling debt and needing to go on tour.
ready.
Oh, that album's going to be great.
He's
Doesn't matter. He can be in debt as long as he's entertaining and he makes great music. So shout out Bruno Mars. Stuart, you were on hold and then you left during the break.
no.
This is the lunch break segment. This is for you to call in 916-339-1140, 800-920-1140. So Stuart, if you're listening, you have a second. Call back in. We'd love to chat with you. We do have our guy Mitch, who always waits so patiently on hold. We got to get him in to start lunch break here before we talk about DeMar DeRozan. Mitch, how are you, my friend? Welcome in.
How you doing, Matt? Kayla, too kind?
Hey, bitch.
Too kind. Patience? They say patience is a virtue.
Yes.
I guess they were right. I just want to see the Kings. I want to talk Kings. I want to see them trade the three most expensive players. If we can get a number one, two, one first-round pick or another one to add ours, 3 first-round picks, especially if you're going to have 2 in the top 10, we'll be kicking. We'll be in good terms there.
Awesome, Mitch. Thank you so much for the call. We appreciate you. Yeah, having as many picks in the over the next couple of years is going to be the goal for the Sacramento Kings.
You got to hit on some of them.
Well, yes, and that's the point too. We haven't even gotten there yet,
We haven't even gotten to that point.
You're seeing me stress out over draft lottery odds. Then I'm going to get my way. Watch.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my way, and the Kings are going to have a top 2, top 3 pick. And then I'm going to become miserable because I'm going to be terrified that they'll make the wrong selection.
And
with
I've
that top
already
2.
heard of all the history of that too. I've already been introduced to all that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't have much weight that I can lose, but between draft lottery day and the draft, I will lose weight. It's just stressing.
I'm going to be like buying things to just like feed Matt on the show so he doesn't lose like
have a liquid
50 pounds.
IV.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a liquid IV during that
IV.
time because the Kings cannot, Scott Perry, you cannot get this wrong.
Nope.
And I know Scott's been trying to make moves, and he's been trying to test the market for all 4 of his top contracts. We've talked, like, maybe the most consistent thing that we've talked about on this show, Kayla, are both of our confusion about the just complete lack of market for DeMar DeRozan. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I actually want to go back to something you said at the very beginning of the show when we were talking about last night's Kings-Knicks game, because I know what you meant, but it's different. Like, DeMar, in my opinion, and I don't think this is a hot take, DeMar has been the best player on the Kings this season.
Yeah.
But last night's game was very different to how he's normally been.
Okay.
Because last night was, I am the offense, get me the ball, get out of the way.
Sure.
He shot, I think, 26 times.
Yep, high shot volume.
That's not who DeMar has been. And to me, if that's who DeMar was on a nightly basis, even with him scoring 34 points, I would not be interested in that as a contender.
Same.
But what DeMar has been this year is an efficient scorer without the high volume of shots. His shooting volume is down. The scoring is down because of it, but his shooting percentages are solid.
Right.
Which to me is
on this team.
Right. Which to me is more enticing to a contender or to a playoff team that might want to bring him in. And we've talked about different teams that potentially could be interested, but our friend Jill Adge, which I don't have you met Jill?
Well, she's been on the chat or on social media. I've seen her on there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jill is a wonderful Kings fan, great follow on social media, diehard Kings fan. She and I were chatting during the Knicks game last night, and she brought up the Portland Trailblazers would make a ton of sense for DeMar DeRozan, and I had never considered it.
Yeah.
Because the Trailblazers, are 9th in the West. They're, I don't have the standings in front of me. They're like 3.5 games back, let's say, of the Warriors, I think, in 8th. And the difference between 9 and 8 is massive because 7 and 8 is you only have to win 1 game and you have 2 tries to get into the playoffs. If you're 9 or 10, as the Kings know very well, you have to win both games just to get an 8th seed. Right, so the difference between 9 and 8 is monstrous.
Yeah.
So the Blazers are obviously trying to get up there. Once they get to the playoffs, they want to actually do something in the playoffs and not just flame out in 4 straight blowouts. And they need more scoring on that team. Denny Advia has been really, really good. Maybe in the mix for an all-star nod. We'll see. Shaedon Sharpe is a really promising young player, although he can be streaky, but when he's on, he's great as an offensive option. Drew Holiday on the older side, more of a defensive playmaker than he is a scorer at this point in his career. Jeremy Grant's not that guy, even though they, for some reason, paid him like he's that guy. They need another scoring option in Portland.
Yeah.
And here you have a not number 1 guy, maybe at best number 2 guy, which Portland might need him to be 2 some nights, or if Shaedon Sharpe's cooking, they can make him number 3 on other nights.
There's versatility there.
Right.
Yeah.
DeMar makes a ton of sense for them. And again, when we're talking about DeMar DeRozan trade conversations, Kayla, this is extremely important. The Kings aren't looking for a DeMar DeRozan level return. That's not what we're talking about here. It's moving on from DeMar, getting off of his contract, not having to pay him the $10 million minimum that he's owed next year, and getting back a role player, hopefully, that makes sense, that isn't on a long-term deal, so you don't have to have him on the books for a while, or some sort of draft compensation. That's what the Kings are asking for here.
And so before you reveal what maybe they would get in return, let me comment on the trade, the possible trade partner. I love it. I think it's very interesting. First and foremost, I don't know DeMar in terms of personally what he's looking for at this point of his career, but you would stay on the West Coast. And I think for some players that's important when they have family. I like the fact of the fit of Portland too, because when Portland came here, I don't know when it was, the homestand or whatever, when they played here.
Yeah, just recently.
We had a conversation about how Portland may not have the individual talent that Sacramento Kings have, but they have they all play together. Like they play for the same, they just play well together.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like DeMar DeRozan, he can really fit in anywhere in that aspect of it because they need extra scoring, though, especially if they want to make that push with the playoffs. Like, DeMar fits that, too.
He does.
Like, DeMar could come right in and be one of those savvy vets that isn't going to pout probably if he's not getting, like you said, the starting time all the time.
Yes.
But they might need him at some point, too.
Right, and this is you're not taking on a contract that you have, it better work or else.
Yeah.
It is if you're Portland, let's try this. Let's add this veteran to what we're doing. We know we're not contending this year, but we want to get in and we want to get that experience for some of our guys that hopefully will be part of contending, a contending team one day. DeMar, you can help us do that. If it doesn't work out, we pay you your $10 million, which is nothing, and you go on your merry way and decide where you want to go.
That's not a lot.
But if it does work out, well, then we have you under contract for one more year, and maybe we can do something special in Portland. So I think it makes sense. But in terms of okay, so what does that trade look like,
What's
Maddie?
the return?
What does a Portland Trailblazers trade realistically look like? So I have trade A and trade B. Trade A is better. Trade B is if they're not interested in trade A.
And Kyle, get in on this too.
Trade A. Robert Williams III and Matisse Thybulle. Both
Okay.
of them expiring deals. These are
Okay.
two guys that are expiring. You take flyers on them for the remainder of this season. An athletic center, but he's an undersized center.
Yep.
He probably doesn't play very much because you have already your center rotation.
centers.
And Matisse Thybulle, defensive guard, kind of hybrid.
Been connected to the Kings for a million years.
Been connected to the Kings for a long time. Again, you test them out for the rest of the season.
Sure.
If you like any of these guys, you can negotiate a new contract with them this summer when they become free agents. But both of them are expiring. You're off the books. And you can in trade A, you're also asking for the 2028 Orlando first round pick because the Trailblazers own a handful of picks in that 2028 draft and multiple firsts. Now, I'm put protections on this if you want to. If you want to make it, I put top 10 protected. You want to make it lottery protected, so it's outside the top 15. Fine.
Sure.
I'm fine with that. Lottery protected if you want. In return for DeMar DeRozan and Keon Ellis.
Okay.
And again, I've been consistent with this is where
Sweetener.
if I'm Scott Perry, this is the most value for Keon Ellis. This is the best way to use Keon is to attach him to a contract to get that team to take that contract or so you can facilitate that trade, move on from that contract. But because you're adding a talent like Keon Ellis in addition to DeMar DeRozan, who in theory we should think the Portland Trailblazers might be interested in, now you can ask for a little bit more. But if they go, no, we're not including a first-round pick, it's not happening, no. Okay, fine. Then trade B is very similar. It's Williams and Thybulle and 2 2027 seconds because they have 4.
Okay.
The Blazers have 4 second-rounders.
They can part with at least 2.
Give 2 of them, and then you just take DeRozan.
Look,
they literally don't have the roster spots for all those
For
second
all
round
of them.
picks.
Right. So give us 2 seconds and those 2 expiring contracts, and you take DeMar DeRozan off our hands. That's it.
Look, we have to look at the bigger picture of what they're trying to do in the Kings organization right now. And while you might not exactly love the return, like you said, expiring contract and a couple of these guys, maybe they're second round picks instead of a protected first, whatever. The whole point of this is that until there is movement on the Kings side of things, there is going to be, that is months that you're putting yourself behind.
Yep.
The faster that this happens, the faster the rebuild can be. And we're not saying the rebuild's going to be in 1 year. But I would rather make moves now so then the summer you can figure out your next plan of attack.
Right.
And that you can start to really work in some of these younger guys because you're not going to have so many of these guys log jamming things up. I know that it's probably tough to be like, well, we like DeMar, but we're going to kind of trade him away for not a lot. And plus, Keon Ellis is going with him. I really don't care at this point. I want the ball to get rolling.
And if you can turn the salary commitment that you don't want to pay into a couple of second rounders, like it's not this, again, it's not a sexy trade. It's not something that super excites you, but second rounders are pieces that you can either move in future trades eventually, or they give you 2 more shots at finding a diamond in the rough or adding the depth that you might need, finding another Dylan Cardwell or Keon Ellis. Granted, both of those guys were undrafted free agents, but you get my point. Finding those guys that could become something that is a fringe piece or a important rotational piece of an eventual contender, right? Like you are in an asset gathering mode.
Yep.
And if you don't trade DeMar DeRozan, which it sounds like they're not going to be able to, the interesting question then becomes, and this is going to be a conversation that we really dive into after the trade deadline, is what do you do with DeMar DeRozan? Because my understanding is that the Kings will actually have until January of next season, so almost halfway through next season, before they have to cut DeRozan.
Okay.
So they could go into January
still playing with him,
and cut him in January and only owe him the $10 million. So they could, in theory, go through an entire summer of shopping him. Maybe it's not there. Now you go through an early part of next season still shopping him, and maybe a deal opens up. If it doesn't, then you cut him, you pay him your $10 million. So I don't think there's any scenario where the Kings cut DeRozan this summer. If they don't trade him now, they're going to try to aggressively shop him this summer.
Okay.
DeMar DeRozan being on the Kings to start next season is not that big of a deal. It is a big deal, though, if you're going into next season still with all these 4 contracts that nobody seems to want.
Huge deal. And look, maybe Domantas Sabonis, maybe he can be, something can happen in the summer with that, and then it wouldn't make maybe the DeMar staying here till January so bad. But the point is like one of these things have got to be moved going into next season, because that's just a nightmare. You're having the same sort of situation that we're dealing with now. Well, obviously, maybe a good pick that we can look forward to. But
I hope so.
You also want cap space, too, because then you can be one of these teams that facilitates taking a bad contract from another team to get draft picks, a la the Brooklyn Nets with Michael Porter Jr., someone like that. But right now the Kings can't do that because they, for the most part, have to match salaries with somebody else. So if you can move DeRozan, again, like the first scenario Matt threw out there, if you move DeRozan and Keon and get Williams and Thibault and they both expire, now you have $25 million you didn't previously have that you can absorb if, say, Cleveland wants to move off of one of their players or something like that.
Yeah, it just gives you flexibility, and flexibility is important. Now, you have to use it, but flexibility is important. Oh, I was just about to go to you, Mac, but you just dropped off. I think, Mac, if you want to call back right now, if you're listening, he wanted to talk Sharks. Now is the time to do it. This is the lunch break segment, but hopefully Mac calls back in, because I would love...
The Sharks are on fire.
The Sharks are giving us life. It's the Sharks and Dylan Cardwell. That's what's going to get us through this Sacramento Kings season. And the Sharks, they won. They beat the Vancouver Canucks 5-2 last night. Macklin Celebrini is a absolute stud. So yes, the Sharks are a ton of fun. So Mac, if you're listening, call back in. Would love to hear from you. We'll go right to you when you call in. But I've seen this conversation happening on social media, and it's right. It involves you don't want to make a bad making a bad trade is worse than no trade. Or I guess the better way to put it is no trade is better than a bad trade.
Okay.
And I get that. And for the most part, you're 100% right. Mac is back on hold. I'm going to pause that thought because Mac is here. Mac, you want to talk Sharks? My man, I'm excited about this. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing well, brother. Thanks for holding. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah, I was calling just to give a message out to Kings fans that are struggling right now. Maybe turn on a Sharks game. They're pretty exciting. Got a guy named Macklin Celebrini who's on track. He could be one of the best in the NHL, and Will Smith, another young talent. I know I've been paying a lot more attention to that. And I know Kayla covered the Nashville Predators, so maybe we could get some hockey talk.
Yeah,
anyway.
Absolutely.
We definitely can, especially if the Sharks make the playoffs, like I'm rooting for them to do. But Mac, it's funny because I draw so many similarities, or like I put so much hope in the Sharks in the sense that, like, of course, the Sharks got the number 1 overall pick and drafted Celebrini. If the Sacramento Kings were to get a number 1 or even number 2 overall pick and draft a stud, doesn't mean they're going to be great right away because the Sharks weren't very good last year. But you start to entertain some people a little bit. You capture the imagination. You start to put this fun team together. Maybe the Sharks make the playoffs this year. Maybe they don't. I don't think anyone expects the Sharks to win the Stanley Cup this year, but they're one of the most talked about fun stories in hockey right now, in sports, period, right now. And the way that San Jose and the Bay Area is starting to really rally around that team is the same way Sacramento would fully embrace a fun youth movement led by a top pick here in Sacramento.
Yeah, definitely. I think it gives hope of hopefully what will end up coming out of this rebuild in Sac, but, with the track record, who knows? Anyways, you all have a great day, and thanks.
Mac,
Thank you so much.
Mac, call in and talk Sharks anytime, my friend. And if you want to call in like Mac on lunch break, do it right now, 916-329-1140.
So the San Jose Sharks right now are in a wild card spot.
They're in it.
With the Utah Mammoth, which is new to the NHL. And on the point of organizations, like, we know San Jose had some really good stretch of hockey, right, back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But they plummeted fast once some of their older guys retired and moved on. And they were bad for a minute. I mean, I was doing the draft in Tennessee, NHL draft, like 5 years ago, and I remembered San Jose was the butt of all jokes, just how bad this organization was.
It was a nosedive.
Right. And so for there to be life, like you said, might not be winning the Stanley Cup this year, but there's exciting players, there's youth there. And then when they get on a roll, at least it's fun to tune in.
There are examples all around Scott Perry that he can look at in terms of if you do a rebuild right, it doesn't mean you're going to be a title contender in 2 years.
Right.
But you can be the Sharks. You can be fun. You can be exciting. You can revitalize the city. And as I think
streaks.
you're starting to learn and experience with the city, and I hope you get to experience that Beam Team year was magical in this city.
It
was so much fun. Winning game one, I will never forget the atmosphere of game one in the Golden One Center, and the atmosphere not just inside the building but outside the building. That game was an afternoon tip. It was like 3 or 4 o'clock tip or something like that. I got down to Doco at like 9 a.m. and I just wanted to soak it all in.
Sure.
Right? It was just an unbelievable
Great
experience.
atmosphere.
This city was on fire.
120,000 people were there that day.
It was incredible.
That's awesome.
City was on fire. And it doesn't take much more than a spark to get that here. So if Scott does his job right, of course, at the end, you want to bring a title. If you're not going for a title, what are you playing for? And we've seen what happens when the Kings try and make their goal just make the playoffs a couple of times in a row and don't really make any noise, but just get there. That's not good enough. But if you can do this rebuild right, you get some luck in the draft lottery. You draft the A.J. DeBonsa or Peterson or Cam Boozer or Wilson or whoever that you feel is going to be that young stud, and you surround them with the right pieces. You find those Dylan Cardwells, and you mix them in with good draft picks and a signing and a group of players that, look how much this fan base has rallied around the Beam Boys.
Right, exactly.
This group of young players, the Kings have lit the beam 12 times this year, but the fans love the Beam Boys, right? If Scott next season, the Kings might not be any good next season, but if you were to tell me that they moved on from some of these veterans,
big contracts,
and they drafted a player in the top 4, top 5. Kayla, I'm telling you, opening night of the Kings game in the Golden One Center next season is going to be awesome because there's going to be a new energy, a new curiosity, and that's what's been so exhausting and frustrating about this season is it's just
stale.
It's stale.
Yeah.
It's hopeless. It's just this feeling of we're not going anywhere. We're not doing anything. We're just suck.
It's just we're sitting here.
It's just icky.
Yeah. No, you're right.
And that's what Scott needs to turn around. That's why this fan base is so eager for a trade at this deadline. Not because they think Scott's going to fix everything, but just to give us something different. So any fan on February 6th, if the Kings only move Keon Ellis, any fan on February 6th that is furious or disgusted or says, I'm not watching Kings basketball for the rest of the season because there's no point, I do not blame you one bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, and I know I'll learn quickly, but I've been in a lot of cities where I've had success covering teams. I've had failure covering teams in terms of the teams I'm covering. And one thing that I can always relate to with the fan base, and I relate to rather quickly, is just I get it. And I've had those teams myself, like where it's like, is this a nightmare? Am I ever going to wake up from this nightmare of a team that I'm supposed to be rooting for, but there's just years of just hopelessness? But I think that the belief in Scott Perry, you could be skeptical. You have every right to be because of the history of this organization. Abso-freaking-lutely. But I do feel like what he's done before in other places, the way he goes about his business, he's a pretty straight shooter, I believe. I do think there is hope for this organization moving forward. I really do. And I hate the word patience sometimes. I really do. But I think it will pay off.
But at the same time, man, throw us a freaking bone.
Throw us a bone.
Give us something.
And you have to get something started.
Just give us something. Get this ball rolling in some way, shape, or form. Like, I agree that the Kings should not just make a move for the sake of making a move. And, like, you shouldn't just, like, well, some of these players I would have no problem with the Kings just outright salary dumping, not getting anything in return. Yeah, like if we're being completely honest, and whether you want to call it a Zach LaVine hater comment or not, like Zach doesn't want to be here. Feelings mutual, pal. Like, just move on. Like if the Kings could dump that and move on from that, great. Like I'm all for that. I understand. Like if the Kings don't make a trade at this deadline, it's not the end of the world. It's not. And they can revisit all these in the summer, and maybe the conversations are better or easier in the summer because whether Zach picks up his option or not, now he's an expiring deal. DeMar's an expiring deal. That's one less year on Domantas Sabonis' contract. Like, maybe it's better then. I understand that.
Plus, we'd have summer content.
Yes. Well, yeah, the summer content definitely helps with that, too.
Well, don't worry. We'll always have Kuminga.
Honestly, I'm exhausted. I don't want to anymore.
They got to stand on the watch like Jon Snow.
But like, the hope of this season is in two things. The more immediate hope is some sort of move or some sort of trade or some sort of anything at this deadline in the next week and a day. It's a week from tomorrow.
Yep.
Something that gives us a reason to care again. And then two is what happens in the draft lottery. Right? Those are the reasons why you that's the hope in this season. But the most important part of this basketball season is the next 8 days.
Yep.
And if the Kings walk out of those 8 days only trading Keon Ellis, there should be a frustration, a disappointment, and a concern to that, regardless of what the market is like.
And rightfully so.
So.
And we'll be talking about it regardless.
Yes, we absolutely will. There's been some drama around the NFL and football world that a lot of people feel very passionately about. And that's Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer. I never, ever, 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 ever thought that could be a reality. We will discuss that. I know Kyle and Kayla have thoughts on that. Plus, we have to talk about who's been the worst NFL coaching hire so far this summer. The Raiders haven't made one yet, so it can't be them. Hooray!
You're out of this combo.
It's all coming up next on Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder, thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration.
Thunder.
The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
If you're serious about your golf game, then you need to know about Total Game Fitting at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Whether it's the TrackMan-powered player performance studio for your best fit clubs, or the cutting-edge technology putter fitting studio, or the free Ballnamic ball fitter and 3D foot scanner, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop offers you total game fitting from head to toe with equipment and apparel. Find your advantage at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop with the latest offering of new golf products in Northern California. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Join Sactown Sports Downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In Shape Fitness Kings Rally towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mommy, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6 to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on most beds with base. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at a Sleep Number store today.
Save more on the brands pros trust at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances and choose from our wide lineup of top brands. Plus, save $100 on a Little Giant 22-foot multi-position ladder, now just $189. Built for strength, flexibility, and job site versatility. Pros, these savings will only be here for a limited time. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 1/30 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Hello, everybody. Talking to Chad Hoblet here of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Chad, what's going on for the Start Something New sales event?
As the new year gets going, getting the family everywhere they need to be can be challenging, but it gets a lot easier when you save up to $8,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokees. They are one of America's favorite SUVs for a reason. It doesn't just get the job done, it gets it done in style.
It's true, the Jeep Grand Cherokee continues to be loved by everyone I know who has one.
It's easily one of the best SUVs on the road today. Whatever you're looking for, Hoblet is the place to go. From new Jeep Grand Cherokees to hundreds of certified pre-owned vehicles at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter with over 100 vehicles under $30,000.
Time to start something new with Hoblet Dodge in Woodland. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
8,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L after 2,500 factory rebates and 5,500 dealer discounts. Choose this net savings. VIN number 746-802 and 746-803. See dealer for details.
Hey, movie fans, Marty Supreme is playing at the Esquire IMAX Theater. See it the way it was meant to be seen on the 6-story IMAX screen. Feel every twist and turn crashing all around you, where every seat is always the best seat in the house.
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box. You think it's that simple? Yeah, I do.
Don't wait. Get reserved seats for Marty Supreme at Sacramento's biggest and loudest movie-going experience, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento.
And stuff like that, I'm like, nope, I avoid.
So it's essentially the thought is that he was in on Notorious B.I.G.'s death. And it was his own best friend, and right after the death, he did this big funeral, and then did the music MTV Awards, and was doing like this dance on the stage, like trying to give like recognition to his friend. When a lot of thought is that he had something to do.
Oh, great, wonderful. Yeah, no, I like
getting creative with my thoughts here.
I like to be happy and not watch that kind of content. But
my wife, it was a great reference. I'm just young and don't understand.
That's okay. I'm a big Tupac and Biggie fan, so I just all of that stuff is very interesting to me.
What about Bill Belichick? How big of a fan are you
I'm
of?
not a big fan of Bill Belichick.
So would you have voted against him being a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No, because I'm not that stupid.
Well, a lot of people are apparently, because he is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, and that is sparking out a lot of debate, a lot of controversy. I already being voters on these committees, and baseball. This happens way worse in baseball, from all the Barry Bonds nonsense that we've been through, like baseball Hall of Fame or Hall of Fame voters, and these acting like they're the gatekeepers, and acted like their self-importance matters or whatever. Like, whatever reasoning for keeping Bill Belichick out of the NFL Hall of Fame. It's not like he's going to be out permanently, but he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is dumb. He's one of the best, if not the best, like amongst the greatest coaches of all time, regardless of how you feel about Spygate or, well, it's only because of Tom Brady. Doesn't mean he didn't win. Like, oh, Phil Jackson was only good because of Kobe or Michael. Well, okay, they still won a bunch of rings and did their job. So, I mean, I'd love to hear how both you and Kyle feel about this, but Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer, it's just delaying the inevitable, and it feels like just a bunch of pompous, arrogant people that are just like, well, I can't do it because of Spygate or whatever. Like, you're not that self-important. Dude's been amazing for the game. Get the hell out the way and put him where he belongs.
And what's crazy is, like, these voters do not have to put their name on the ballot. Like, they don't have to reveal them, right? So what I think is so funny right now is our friend Mike Sando, who came on the show this week. I've got a voter in Tennessee I knew really well, Paul Kaharski. They're coming out on Twitter and saying, we voted for him as a shoo-in.
Because it makes them look bad.
Exactly. So they're like, we're not part of this, like, coming out and saying we didn't vote for it. Like, we voted for him. But let me read this to you for Belichick and his resume. And look, do I love Bill Belichick? No. I think he's annoying. I hated the hoodie. Like, do I question, is he the greatest coach of all time without Tom Brady? Yes, I do. However, the facts are the facts in terms of the numbers and the championships that he brought to New England. First time, all time in Super Bowls with 6. Super Bowl appearances, 9. 31 playoff wins. Those numbers are insane.
Yeah.
And even if you think the Spygate, Deflategate is part of it, there's just too much overwhelming stuff to say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer than to say he's not. Mm-hmm. And I just don't understand, even if you don't like the man like I don't, I would never as a voter use that as the reason why I didn't put him into the Hall of Fame.
So are we just? Are we keeping Tom Brady out of the first ballot Hall of Fame?
Yeah, because he was a part of Spygate and Deflategate too. But that ain't happening.
And of course not. He's the greatest quarterback ever to live. So if he's going to be like, if that's not a unanimous first ballot Hall of Fame, then shame on whoever votes no. But also, like, if you don't like a guy, you should not. That's a bias that's not needed in these conversations. And Jason Ross made a great point when talking about this morning with Carmichael Dave. They were already punished for Spygate, and we can make our jokes and roll our eyes and all that stuff if we want to. They were punished for it. It's not your job as a voter to punish him further for this. So I think it's stupid, Kyle.
Okay, so I agree with you guys on the sense of, like, of course Bill Belichick should be a first ballot Hall of Famer, all that stuff.
Yeah.
At the same time, I also wasn't that surprised when I had heard that he wasn't a Hall of Famer. Not because of any of his accomplishments or anything else, but specifically it's a indictment of the Hall of Fame process itself. So this is the quote-unquote contributor category that they're working with. Mm-hmm. And it's, players have a separate vote. There's going to be 5 that get in. It's probably going to be Larry Fitzgerald and Drew Brees and some other players. But everyone other than players gets lumped into this contributor category. Do you know who else was nominated on the contributor category this year? There's 5 people.
Okay.
And Belichick is one of them. They could vote anywhere between 1 to 3 in.
Okay.
Got it.
You know who else is on the ballot for contributors?
Who?
No. Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots.
Yikes.
Actively feuding with Bill Belichick over who deserves credit for the Patriots dynasty. Now, Seth Wickersham and Don Van Natta, who kind of broke the story years ago, did a really interesting piece where essentially for the past decade, Robert Kraft has been running a PR campaign with voters to get himself onto the ballot. Like, this means a lot to Robert Kraft. And in the story, they're like, it got to the point where Hall of Fame voters had to, like, call his PR person and be like, please stop contacting us. This is getting really annoying. It means a lot to Robert Kraft to get into the Hall of Fame while he is still alive. Like, he's put a lot of time and resources behind it for the last decade. And after 14 years of being nominated, this year is the first year that Robert Kraft made it onto the ballot. And Robert Kraft had been pushing and pushing and pushing to try and get into the Hall of Fame. And now he has his chance. and he is going to probably get in over Bill Belichick.
Okay, because they can't pick a two.
No, they could have picked both.
Okay, but then that would take away from...
What I think might be happening is...
That's interesting.
Robert
Kyle.
Kraft, who, again, aside like who deserves better credit, whatever. Robert Kraft, who has billions of dollars and has made it one of his entire goals in life to get into the Hall of Fame. Yes, he wants the Patriots to win, great, but his son kind of runs the team now. Robert Kraft, who really, really, really wants to get into the Hall of Fame and wants to use his billions of dollars of resources and connections as one of the NFL's most powerful people to get into the Hall of Fame, is going to do so by potentially keeping Bill Belichick out the same year that Robert Kraft is going to get in.
Dude, this feud between those two, I mean, Tom Brady ain't even part of it in my eyes because it's between this Kraft and Belichick drama that will never end. And this is the first time I've really heard about this, Kyle. I didn't read that.
Yes.
So that is wild to think.
If Kraft doesn't get, again, Roger Craig is nominated and a couple other people, but if Belichick's not getting it, they have to put at least one. I assume the one is going to be Robert Kraft. And when the one is Robert Kraft over Bill Belichick, it's going to be because Robert Kraft politicked to keep Bill Belichick out of the Hall of Fame, and because he has billions of dollars of resources and is one of the three most powerful people in the NFL, it looks like he just got away with it.
I shared with you guys when we first started this show, my first job ever was working in a retirement home.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of old people stirring up the stupidest drama. Like a retirement community or like a retirement home is like the biggest, it's just like a high school.
Sure.
This, like, put those two in a nursing home somewhere and let them duke it out and be angry at each other about this. This is such nonsense. And the fact that these billionaire success stories that have everything they could possibly want in life and are connected in any kind of way to one of the greatest dynasties in the history of sports in the New England Patriots are fighting over, I want the credit, me,
Right.
put me in the Hall of Fame. The most like just obnoxiously pathetic people that I like, whether it's Kraft or Belichick, any of them. Like, the NFL Hall of Fame is a sports related award for greatness in sports. A coach belongs there. A player belongs there. An owner, if you do things that transcend sports by work you do in the community, or if you are a model of ownership in professional sports, you belong there. You don't belong there for getting the credit and fighting with your coach over how much credit you deserve for the team that you just so happen to own because you're wealthy enough to write their checks for them. Congratulations. Shut the hell up. It's the stupidest thing to hear these rich people or these owners, and from Jerry Jones to Kraft to anybody in sports, try and incorporate themselves and put themselves front and center for something that they have no ability to do so. They have nothing, they know nothing about. Go away. Let this be a football conversation. And Bill Belichick, the football coach, is a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest we've ever seen. No extracurriculars involved. Put him there because he deserves to be there. Let him do his speech, and then I don't need to hear from him again. Just get him there.
That's a thing. I mean, look, do they both deserve to be in there at some point? Yeah. But, I mean...
Robert Kraft before Bill Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, because he doesn't know if he's going to survive much longer. Well, that's not how
Good for you,
that's
pal.
not how the Hall of Fame works.
It's not about you, kid.
And he wants it. He publicly wants the credit over Bill Belichick.
Well, that's not going to happen either because it's a mixture of what that organization did, from ownership to
so
Belichick
pathetic.
to Tom Brady.
It's so pathetic.
It's not about one person making it work.
I'm a billionaire. Look at me. It's because of me. I did it. Give me the credit. Daddy, mommy, love me. Love me. You're not paying attention to me, mommy.
I'm going to fund a 10-part documentary that buries Bill Belichick because of how badly I want the credit for this dynasty.
Yeah, it's actually, to tell you the truth, guys, it's pretty sad and it's pretty distracting for the organization and the franchise. And we wonder why people root against New England and hate New England. Like, these are all parts of it too, because the way they run things and do things, it's all like inner fighting and soap operas. Like, no one wants to deal with that.
Hell, no wonder Brady went to the Raiders. Somehow the Raiders seem more stable compared to all that nonsense that's happening in New England. Dwayne is on hold. Dwayne wants to talk about this Belichick situation. What's up, Dwayne?
Hey, yo, what's up with the homies?
What's up, Dwayne?
Hey, listen, I'm going to tell you guys, I would never vote for Bill Belichick to get into the Hall of Fame, and I'll tell you why. If I had a vote, he'll never get it. And I'll tell you why. 1, he's an ass face. 2, he is a cheater. 3, the Tuck rule still bothers me to this day. Changed history. And 4, I got daughters, man. And I don't want that dude nowhere near my daughters, bro. And I bet you some of those guys who had a vote got daughters, too.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say to that, but yeah, I guess if we can go that route if we want to.
Well, Robert Kraft's not any better.
I don't think I want my son or daughter around any of these people, to be completely honest with you. But regardless, like it's a football award for a football coach. I think he absolutely deserves to be in. Dwayne has his, of course, right to feel that way.
Yeah.
When we're keeping the conversation strictly to football, though, like. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. And again, it's only a matter of time. Okay, he didn't get it on the first ballot. Boo-hoo. He'll be on there next year. Yeah. And we'll get the moment
Is it
anyway.
shocking, though? It is.
It's just annoying.
Or we keep him off next year because then him and Brady would be the same year.
Oh yeah, let's just drag this god-awful conversation out longer that nobody wants to stomach.
You know what this is all about? It's just about keeping the Patriots relevant.
Well, they're in the Super Bowl. They're doing just fine without him.
I know.
Get the hell out the way.
No, this is a celebration of Robert Kraft that has now been turned into an indictment of the Hall of Fame.
Well,
it was supposed to be Robert Kraft. We win the Super Bowl. I get into the Hall of Fame, all that stuff. And now it's been ruined because everyone's like, this is stupid.
Here's an idea. Robert Kraft, Bill Belichick, go away.
Bye.
Go away because your football team is actually on the field playing in a
We
relevant,
love you, Vrabel.
a relevant game next Sunday for the Super Bowl. Yeah, they got back there, and that's what matters. Not you or who deserves the credit for it. Doesn't matter. Your football team is playing on Super Bowl Sunday a week from this Sunday. So shut up and get out the way.
Move.
Not about
Get
y'all.
out the way.
Man, nothing boils my blood like hearing a bunch of like old rich people debate and argue with each other over who deserves credit. It's ridiculous. Well, let's keep the bad vibes going in terms of NFL talk. We're going to talk about who's the worst hire so far in the NFL coaching search. And Kayla doesn't think it's the Browns who made their hire today. We'll hear what she has to say and her answer to that question coming up next.
This year's tax changes. Better not get caught snoozing. Miss one deduction, lose thousands. Not amusing.
Big tax changes can mean bigger refunds at Jackson Hewitt. And right now, get $100 just to try us.
Don't worry, tax filers. If money is tight, get $100 from Jackson Hewitt, so you'll sleep better at night.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not.
Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. And more. Line dancing live DJs, mechanical bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Valentine's gift. Surprise them with live country music and dancing. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center and Hilton Sacramento. For more info, visit CITPFest.com.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Guys, feeling low energy or low drive? It could be low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health, start with a free T-check and consultation. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off TRT. Book now at ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply, must medically qualify.
It's Matt George and Kayla Anderson on Sactown Sports 1140.
Man, I was having a good Wednesday, and then y'all made me talk about freaking Robert Kraft.
We all got in our nasty feels on that one.
Gross.
Because it's gross. Like,
it's annoying.
It's just stupid.
The rich, powerful man who helped build the NFL is now using that power to gatekeep the man that most of us believe is more responsible for his success than he is.
Look, and Belichick's annoying too. Not gonna lie.
How about this? How about neither of them make the Hall of Fame and we never hear from them again? How about that? Let's go. Let's just. I'll compromise.
Tom,
with that.
you take all the credit.
Or put Belichick and Robert Kraft in the Hall of Fame and don't let them do a speech because nobody wants to hear him. How about that? Can we start there? Is that a good compromise?
Oh, sure.
Mano.
Well, now we might get the Bill Belichick, Michael Jordan just spitting anger at people at his Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah.
Maybe. Outside of John Harbaugh, because he's the obvious answer, which of the new head coaches is most likely to be in the Hall of Fame, guys? Segue. Great segue, Matt. Yeah.
Wait, the current
Of the
ones that just got
ones
hired?
that just got hired outside of John Harbaugh, who's most likely to make the Super Bowl with their current? No, that's not what I said. The Hall of Fame with their current team.
You got a lot of.
How do we
work
feel
to
about
do.
Mike McCarthy?
I don't like. Again, that is the most vanilla type of hire. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, Mike McCarthy. But
Did you see how he looked in it?
Yes, I saw how he. Yeah.
Buddy.
Yeah.
Did you see the video?
Buddy.
We're so mean.
Oh, we are, but
So
buddy.
when he first sat down and he kind of rubbed his hands together.
I thought you said rub his belly.
No,
Well, he might have.
He sat down and rubbed his hands together. It was like, whew. And then someone photoshopped it and said me when the Chili's fajitas come in, and it was him in a restaurant.
He sat down. He's like,
You
idiots hired me.
Yeah.
No, good for Mike McCarthy.
Huh,
Hopefully the answer is Robert Saleh. But how about an easier question? I don't know if it's easier or not.
Please.
Kyle, Kayla, who's been the worst hire so far in this crazy NFL head coach carousel that we've been going through? Two teams have yet to make a hire, the Cardinals and the Raiders, so they're immune.
Okay, yeah, maybe we'll add them in once they make
might
the
win the
hire.
award eventually, but right now they're not in it.
Yeah, right now you're getting away with something. Okay, so
Again, how do we feel about Mike McCarthy?
maybe that's your pick, Kyle. That is not my pick. Neither is Todd Monken, even though the Browns usually do things that don't end in success. I am actually going to go with one that has not been talked a lot about, and that is Jeff Hafley, who is the Miami Dolphins' new head coach, coming down from Green Bay, where he was 1 year the defensive coordinator. So I will say this about him. I get the excitement and the curiosity of some of these younger coaches, whether it be a younger offensive mind or a younger defensive mind. That seems to be the fad right now in the NFL because they all want to find lightning in a bottle. The problem here is Miami already did that with Mike McDaniel, and realized that, yeah, for a second, it was good, but as a head coach, it probably didn't work out. Maybe he gets a shot again one day as a head coach, but right now I think he's best suited as an offensive coordinator. And so now they're going to go with the opposite, the younger defensive mind that we're going to take a chance on. Before that, he was the Boston College head coach, and most of his, career has been in college coaching until recently. I like a guy with a little stronger track record in the NFL, especially if you are hiring him to take over an entire team. I saw it happen with Brian Callahan in Tennessee, where he even had a big, long list of NFL background, but he just wasn't ready yet to run a whole team as a younger guy that had never done it before. I also think the bigger problem right now in Miami is who the heck is going to be your quarterback. It doesn't look like it's going to be Tua Tagovailoa. You have a defensive-minded guy, so you're really going to have to leave it up to some of these other guys you hire to make decisions, and that's part of it too. I just think it's an iffy hire. Green Bay's defense was a little wonky once Micah Parsons got hurt. I don't love it.
So Kayla makes great points about Hafley, and I agree with most of that sentiment. Also, I would add, anytime you can hire the guy who just blew multiple 17-point leads to the Bears, absolutely got to go do it. Also, the GM there,
John, what is his name? John Eric Sullivan.
From
the Packers.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hiring the guy who you're familiar with more often than not doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Worked out for Robert Kraft and Bill Belichick, but more often than not, just hiring the guy you were familiar with doesn't work. But the answer is Todd Monken. Yeah. I mean, it's Todd Monken.
You
And
guys
obviously,
are like, eh.
No, your points are great, and Hafley is a boring, bland hire, but just like McCarthy, but at least McCarthy has a proven track record of success in the NFL. But it's Todd Monken. I mean, it was crazy that he was the one who got it. No one wanted the Cleveland Browns job. He was their seventh choice, clearly, for head coach, and I already put it up on the sticky note board that he's going to be fired within a year. Mm-hmm. He's a placeholder coach until the job is more desirable, is the easiest way I can phrase it. And how does that job get more desirable? By being in a position to draft a franchise quarterback.
By moving the franchise again.
Well, also that.
See, I never knew that you could punt a head coach decision, but it feels like that's what they did.
The Texans did it 3 times in a row.
We're punting. We have no good options, so we're going to punt and just see what happens.
And good for Monken. He's going to get a nice retirement parachute. You get to retire at 62. Gosh, wouldn't we all love to retire at 62? This will be the last job he ever has in the NFL. And good on him. He'll get a nice retirement parachute, a little $20 million buyout in a year. Congratulations to you, Todd Monken.
Yeah, I'm with you, Kyle, in the sense that it really has nothing to do with Todd and everything just to do with the circumstances situation.
That he's going to Cleveland?
This entire saga of making all these different candidates who already kind of don't really want your job to go through these personality tests and whatever that they got to go through because you just have to do it the Cleveland Browns way for no reason. And then, Kayla almost fell.
Sorry, I wanted to write my pick because worst coach.
Got you. And then we...
Jeff Hafley will be so you're guessing he'll be the first coach fired or the worst coach?
Worst coach.
Okay. And then you go through this entire saga of you wanted your I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden. You wanted your defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz. Thank you. You wanted Jim Schwartz to be a part of this, so other candidates were getting turned off by the fact that you wouldn't let them hire their own defensive coordinator. Then you don't hire the guy that you want to stick around as your head coach because you didn't want him to be a head coach, so now he's pissed, so he's likely leaving. It's just a cluster, you know what. So there's no way the Browns can be topped in that sense unless Raiders, Cardinals, you still got a chance, I guess, if you want to be the worst.
I don't know. Me and Kayla hate Mike LaFleur, and it's starting to look like Mike LaFleur is...
But I'm minusing that from my Post-it.
That's not fair. You can't.
Yeah, because I'm making the pick now.
You're qualifying.
You're hedging your bet.
I'm making the pick now.
Yeah, I get it. I get what she's doing.
Oh,
I
see
what I'm saying? Yeah.
Subject to change if Cardinals and Raiders hire
you
bad
stand
coach.
on business.
Minus
All right.
Raiders.
All right.
And
we'll give it to Kayla.
I mean,
she's hedging her bet.
It looks like Clint Kubiak is going in for another interview with the Cardinals. So, if the Raiders don't hire Clint Kubiak, then maybe. Right. But I think everyone just assumes the Raiders are going to hire Clint Kubiak.
It's whatever Tom Brady wants. Whoever Tom Brady trusts, I guess we should trust, unless he's not really paying attention because he's in the broadcast booth too much.
Yep.
Well, coming up next, really excited about this next conversation. If you Kings fans, like me, are way too emotionally tied into the draft lottery in this upcoming draft class and all your hopes and prayers are in that group, well, apparently it's a really, really good class, so maybe that's not a bad thing. Well, Tyler Rucker from NBA draft analyst from No Ceilings, he is going to join us next to tell us all about this draft class, from the guys at the tippy top to maybe some names we should be paying attention to just in case the ping pong balls don't go our way. That's starting the last hour here of today's show. Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store and online. And now the more you buy, the more you save on beds, bases, and more. Plus, get free home delivery on most beds with base. Limited time. For JD Power 2025 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Check it out at a Sleep Number store today.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5 milligram, 1 milligram, and 2 milligrams.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
The other guys must think you failed math. Get this huge discount. Then the fine print hits you with $5,200 in mandatory ads. It's adorable in a scammy kind of way. At Hoblet, we skip the tricks. The price you see is the price you actually pay. What a wild concept, huh? Hoblet, family owned 77 years. Experience the difference online at hobletdodge.com.
KHD KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Matt and Kayla on Sactown Sports 1140.
Final hour of the show, Matt and Kayla, Sactown Sports. We appreciate you spending your Wednesday with us. And
This is dangerous, what I'm about to do. Before we bring Tyler Rucker on, and he's on hold right now so he can hear this from No Ceilings, one of the NBA draft analysts. This is going to decide my mood or not for this. We're just gonna sim the lottery really quick, Kyle. Just do a little lottery sim and see where we're at hypothetically with the Sacramento Kings going into this conversation. Hey, the Sacramento Kings end up with the 3rd pick. Washington wins. Utah moves up to number 2, but the Kings have the 3rd pick, and Tyler Rucker, the Kings should take with the 3rd pick. Who?
Whoever's the best remaining on the board, Matt. That's the answer I'm going to give you. Hey, if you're laying in the top 3 in this draft, I think you're doing a backflip regardless. So it will be interesting who's going to be in the conversation, but I think if you're a Kings fan and you land a top 3, you're going to be very happy.
Well, it is a blast to be able to talk to Tyler Rucker, one of the NBA draft analysts for No Ceilings. And Tyler, like that, we already talked about this a little bit when I booked you to come on the show. I'm doing what I should not be doing. I'm emotionally investing myself in one player in particular, AJ DeBonsa. Love AJ, would love to see him as a Sacramento King, but I understand this draft is very, very deep. But I'm putting the hopes and prayers of this season meaning something for the Sacramento Kings by them getting a little bit of luck in the draft lottery and putting themselves in the best odds to end up with a top 3 or a top 4 pick in this year's draft. But you're here to help me out a little bit. It's not the end of the world if somehow the ping pong balls don't bounce the Kings' way and they fall to, let's say, 5, 6, or 7. It's not the end of the world, right? Because there are still potentially franchise cornerstone players in that range.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, coming into this year, it was the top 3 was getting all the hype with, Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa, as you mentioned, and then Cameron Boozer of Duke. But, as the years progressing, we're quickly finding out like this is a deeper draft class we're even expecting. And some of these guys are more ready than, we were preparing for coming into the year. Caleb Wilson of North Carolina has been tremendous. He was looking like a guy that I thought would sort of start to be looking like this middle of the season. And right out of the gate, he's just been tremendous, 6'10" forward with a really, really high motor and a lot of fantastic upside. And then Kingston Flemings of Houston is a really talented point guard that's just been tremendous. He's been sensational this year. So if the Kings all of a sudden, you're not a little lucky on draft night or the lottery night, I think you could be looking and saying, hey, we're still getting a heck of a player that could be a franchise, changing piece, whether it's in the backcourt or a lot of other names that could go, a little later. Hopefully they don't drop too low, but the hope is for Kings fans, we're going to get you guys in the top 3.
Tyler Rucker, No Ceilings NBA draft analyst, joining us on Matt and Kayla. So you were speaking of hopefully landing in that top 3. I know right now it's kind of like choose whatever you think is the best fit, but if the Kings, let's say, were luckily to have the number 1 overall pick, what do you feel like right now is the best player for them in their situation to build around?
Yeah, I think, why it's such a fantastic year is obviously with these top 3, they're such potential superstars. But I think even more of the dilemma is they each play a different position. So it's kind of a roster construction philosophy. Who do you think is going to fit best? What are you looking to get for this team to kind of get them on the right path and really take a huge step forward? So if you're looking for someone that can handle the ball a lot and give you a lot of versatility in the backcourt, it's Darren Peterson. He's number 1 on my board. I think he's just one of these guys that could have the easiest transition because of, the playmaking, the scoring, the multi-level scoring ability. So I think for the Kings, that gives you a real big boost in the backcourt and someone that you could be like, all right, here's the guy that could really raise the level of everybody else. And then, if you want to go another route and Matt mentioned AJ DeBonsa, who's just an unbelievable talent that it has so much of his game to still unlock. So if the Kings are wanting to say, hey, we're really swinging for the fences, we're going to be patient and kind of build around AJ, then you get a guy that's got two-way, potential superstar ability. And I think, there's some growing pains with his game, but there's also some of his game that just hasn't been unlocked, which is a really scary development. And then, if, say, the Kings are landing the 3rd pick, I think one of the highest floor potential stars is Cam Boozer. He's just been a winning player his whole life, and he's just having a tremendous year for Duke. So he's not the sexiest prospect because of the highlights, but when you watch his game, it's unbelievable how much he impacts the game on both sides of the floor.
Going back, Tyler, to Darren Peterson, though, like at the NBA level, what do you think he is? You see the natural scoring ability, you see the flashes of playmaking, but do you think he's more of an NBA 2 or an NBA point guard? And I mean, he is 6'6", so he's bigger, so that helps. But these score-first guards are not as valuable or sought after or coveted in the NBA, it seems, today, as they were even a couple of years ago, compared to a potential like athletic hybrid freak like an AJ Debonsa at 6'9" with the wingspan who could play both sides of the floor really well.
Yeah, I think it's been one of the fantastic kind of, if you want to call it a headache with Darren's evaluation this year is coming into the season, if you watched him in high school at Prolific Prep, he's a really talented playmaker. He's someone you want the ball in his hands all the time, not just because of his scoring ability, but because of the gravity he can kind of bring. He's really smart. He's got good vision. But coming into this year, you looked at that Kansas roster and you're like, okay, they're going to really need to lean on him as a scorer. And, he's had the hamstring injury this year where, from what I was told, he was doing everything in his power to come back and play, but it just kept, popping up, and looks like he's hopefully going to be healthy. And then, of course, he has the ankle injury. So it's been a weird year for Darren. And when he's been on the court, Kansas has had to lean on him. To answer your question specifically, though, Matt, I think he's one of these guys that you just want the ball in his hands as much as possible. I think you can run the offense through him. I kind of compare it to kind of what Phoenix does with Devin Booker, where it's like, hey, you can put the ball in, get him as a facilitator, but he's just such a dangerous player as a scorer. I think that opens up a lot of things. So I see him as more of like an NBA 2, but I think with the game how it is today, it's almost like, okay, those guys, you do run sets to have them be the facilitator or look for their own. So he's just one of those guys, you get in the backcourt, it's gonna solve a lot of problems in a hurry.
Tyler Rucker, No Ceilings NBA draft analyst, joining us here. And this is my question with March Madness kind of around the corner. We've got a little bit more than a month to go. Definitely so many people's favorite time of year. But for these players specifically, how much can they really, I guess, improve their draft stock just with that postseason play?
It's always a tough one because I think it's a popular time of the year for now. Conference schedules are coming and conference play is heating up. And I think this is where you like to see these prospects going up against some of the tougher opponents and tougher matchups. And then at the end of the year, a lot of scouts and whatnot are traveling to these tournaments to get an up-close personal, look at these guys after maybe they saw them early in the year. So I think it's something that definitely matters a little bit, but I think a lot of these teams are taking in the full slate of the season. You're doing your check-ins on these prospects. You're kind of seeing like, hey, what's developed? What's still something that looks like it needs to be worked on? So I think this is the time of the year where some strong play can definitely maybe push the needle a little bit forward for you, but with especially these top three, I think it's going to come down to the pre-draft process with interviews, with private workouts. So it's going to be a long, long process this year, and this debate's only going to keep heating up.
Tyler Rucker from No Ceilings, NBA draft analyst, joining us here on Matt and Kayla Sactown Sports. Tyler, you keep saying top three, and I've seen a lot of people talk about the top three of this draft, but there are a few others that want to say it's top four and put Caleb Wilson in that conversation. Where do you look at? Do you think Caleb Wilson can sneak into that top of the draft conversation, or do you look at him as a really, really good consolation prize for whoever falls out of that top three?
Yeah, I think he could get into that conversation, and it's something coming into this year. I thought it was like, hey, it's a top three, but it's because of what Caleb's done on the court this year and how quickly he's kind of taken that next step. When you talk to teams around the league, there's a lot of excitement with Caleb, and I think there's already started a conversation because it's just the 6'10", the length, the tools, and then just how hard he plays. He's been ferocious as a rebounder and kind of around the basket. He's a walking highlight machine with just how hard he plays and kind of, he's just an athletic marvel. But when you watch his game, there's still a lot of flashes of, the defense is just scratching the surface. I think he could be kind of one of these all defensive types of players. So whenever you're, running down your scouting list of check marks of, hey, Caleb Wilson does a lot of stuff that could get into that conversation. So it wouldn't surprise me if, as the months progress towards the draft, we're starting to hear that name buzz a little bit more of like, hey, maybe it is getting into a conversation where he could slip up or rise up and get into that top 3 mix, because I think he's really knocking on that door right now.
Tyler Rutgers joined us. We're talking NBA draft. He'll be here before we know it. I was down in Tennessee for several years. Clearly covered the Tennessee program. I know Nate Amen's name is in the mix right now. I know he's a little bit more of a raw prospect. What do you see out of a guy like this, how he's developed this season at Tennessee?
Yeah, so coming into the year, he was kind of getting some vibes of like, hey, could he be a top 5 pick? And on paper, you understand why. He's a 6'10", 200-pound, stretch, forward who could really space the floor. The first half of the year, he just kind of looked like he was struggling a little bit. And hey, this happens more times than not. I think fans realize is like, hey, it takes some guys a little bit of time to kind of adjust. But the biggest thing for Nate is you understood how raw of a prospect he was going to be and how it was going to take some time. And then conference play started, and he's absolutely just been fantastic. He's really started to look like the confidence has kind of switched, and he just had a fantastic outing against Alabama. I think he's averaging around 21.5 points in his last 4 games. So Nate's kind of become the wild card with this class. There's so much intrigue. There's so many prospects generating some buzz, and now all of a sudden Nate's heating up, and it's like, oh, this class is going to be fun. It's just about to get a little bit sweeter. So I think Nate is taking these promising steps for someone that's still so young. And if he keeps playing like this, he's going to be a name heating up as well and be another one to keep an eye on potentially in the lottery.
No Ceilings NBA draft analyst Tyler Rucker joining us right now. Tyler, I love asking draft analysts this because, of course, as you know, it's such a crapshoot at times, but it's an art form what you guys do. Is there it's a two-parter. The first part is that diamond in the rough prospect that the only way the Kings probably are interested in that prospect is if they're trying to trade back into the first round after making an early pick. That do you think the Kings or any team, if they they're going to be pleasantly surprised with? And the other side of that is these are young men. We're talking about their careers, so I don't want to necessarily say red flags, but any prospects that you look at with like an air of concern or I don't know if I would take that player for whatever team.
Oh man, you're really putting me on the spot, man.
That's what I do, Tyler. It's what I do.
A couple of weeks ago, I would have probably said Braden Burries from Arizona would be a guy that I would try to be trading back up to get. And it's more just because I thought this guard class is so deep and so strong. I keep telling people like everyone's focusing on the big 3, and I was like, but this might be one of the better guard classes we've seen in a really long time. So. Burries has been at Arizona. He's been a fantastic freshman this year, but one that I was like, I think he needs a little bit more attention. And then he just has a fantastic outing against BYU. So I was like, oh, maybe that idea is going to fall right now. But, and before this recent stretch, I think Nate Ament would have been my answer for that second question. I think it was just more of Nate looked like he was just kind of struggling to get some confidence going and creating some separation. The outside shot wasn't falling, and I was like, he just looks like a guy that you never want to root against these guys, and that's not what we do at No Ceilings. We're always just trying to like, hey, what's the best position for these guys to have success at the NBA level? And Nate looked like a guy I was like, hey, another year might do wonders for his confidence. And right now I'm like, well, hey, all of a sudden the switch is flipped. So I think if Nate is starting to play like this, he's going to be a name that's definitely going to be in the mix this year. But before then, I would have probably said Nate would be one that I'd be like, hey, I don't want him to jump to that next level before, he's ready. So time will tell.
Tyler Rucker with us, No Ceilings NBA draft analyst. Tyler, this is a little bit of an interesting question, more a broader question. So I know some of these guys are not going to be with a program, or I should say a team, for that long, right? Like they're one and done. But some of these guys do stay a couple years, and maybe you can see some of the development with the program they're in. Is there any college team you've been impressed with over the last few years, or a coach that you have seen some more development more so than other teams with players?
Yeah, I think one that stands out for me is Houston with Kelvin Sampson does such a fantastic job. He's gotten a lot of guys over the history. You know, Quentin Grimes was a player that went to Kansas and ended up at Houston and kind of revamped himself when it came to creating his draft stock, and now he's having success at NBA level. So I think anytime a prospect goes to Houston that I'm like, oh man, that's a great fit for him. You know, they've got a big man this year that could be in this class in Chris Sinak that is really raw, but some really good tools as a freshman. And, you know, when I saw him in person, you know, last year, I was like, where's he going? Oh, Houston? Perfect. Just, you know, so it kind of warms your heart sometimes with some of these players where you're like, you're going to the right place. They're going to find the best basketball out of you. And I think that's where you like to also see, like, hey, if a guy's maybe going to go in the second round, it's like, oh, he was at Houston, he's going to be a pro. He's going to be ready to go. So I think Houston does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
This might be the last time we're able to have Tyler Rucker, NBA draft analyst for No Ceilings, on the show because of my god-awful crazy questions that I keep throwing his way. And Tyler,
I love these. Come on. I'll be on as much as you need.
Here comes another one, my friend. And this one, I'm getting out way too ahead of myself, and I admitted ahead of time, but we're looking like big picture. We're looking long-term for the Sacramento Kings, and the expectation is they're finally going into a rebuild that hopefully they will execute the right way. And these take time, and they take patience. And the Kings are not trading away their draft picks. If anything, they're trying to acquire more draft picks to give themselves as much opportunity in the draft to hopefully do things the right way over the next couple of years. But right now, they're searching for cornerstones, like we talked about. Combining this draft with a very, very, very early look at next year's draft class. And I know you're not focused on 2027. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're very much in 2026 mode. But if you were to just put kind of a ballpark idea of, if the Kings do this right, they have really good opportunity in these next two drafts to find that foundation that they're looking to establish. Would you feel good about that in your mind?
Absolutely. I think this is the year, if you're a team like the Kings, it's like, all right, you got to look and kind of navigate ahead. And I think this is the year to all be like, hey, this is the time to hit the rebuild button. And I think that's what the Kings are going to try to do. I think obviously the deadline is going to be big and what they do in the offseason, but I think this is a year where it's not even just the first round. And, you know, obviously you're hoping you get lucky on the lottery night, but I think you could find some really good value this year in the second round. And next year's draft is a little bit, it's not as deep as this year, but I still think there's some talent that could really help. And I think what you want to do if you're the Kings is you want to find that piece this year. You want to potentially maybe find maybe you can maneuver the way of the boards and find a later first round pick or some second round picks that add to the roster, get you some rotation pieces, and then whoever you get next year is kind of like, hey, who can we get alongside this year's pick to kind of sweeten everything? I like the rookies they have this year. I still think they're going to be rookies that take big steps in year 2, year 3. So I think the Kings are on the path. They're starting it, but it's just, hey, find that franchise piece this year. Hopefully they get up in that top 3 and find one, and then figure out a way to surround that with the roster and build some building blocks. And they might be surprised with this year's class, how deep it is. You might speed that up a lot quicker than you're thinking.
I like to always get our listeners involved if we can, especially when we have a draft analyst on like you, Tyler Rucker, joining us from No Ceilings NBA. He's a draft analyst there. So one of our guys in the chat here, in our YouTube chat, wants to know about the young point guard out of Arkansas, Darius. I don't want to butcher his last name. Is it Akuf?
Acuff.
Yeah, Acuff.
It's okay. I butcher names all the time, and this is what I do for a living. So don't worry. Darius is having an unbelievable year for Arkansas. He's, there's so many point guards in this class that it's going to be crazy because I think there's just a chance that a lot of them end up in the lottery. That's how fantastic they've been. But for Darius, he's a little bit undersized. They're around 6'2", 6'3", but he is stocky. He's around 200 pounds, and he plays really physical. He does a great job of taking care of the ball, and he can score, but he's efficient. So he's one of these guys that's been tremendous this year. He's a former 5-star recruit. I think he could be in that conversation too, because the more the season's gone on, the more impressive Darius has got as a floor general, and he just knows how to play the game. A lot of Stephon Marbury, if you're looking for a pro comp to him, but just really tough, physical, and a smart player. So, the Kings, it's starting to look like, hey, if you don't get in the top 3, you might be bummed, but quickly you'll start watching these other guys and be like, hey, maybe we're not so bummed. We're going to find someone really, really good.
Tyler, before we let you go, you mentioned the current Kings rookies, and I wanted to ask you specifically about Dylan Cardwell, and he's talked so openly and so passionately about his time at Auburn, and he's like, nobody thought I could be here. I'm not necessarily supposed to be here, but I'm here in the NBA. I'm making an impact. He's well on his way to earning a full roster spot as a two-way player here in Sacramento. The fans have fallen in love with him, his antics, cheery, or like his just reactions with the crowd. And Tyler, I had a couple people from the Kings organization in the front office tell me directly they have not seen someone show more improvement over a short period of time than Dylan Cardwell has shown. What do you make of his rise in the NBA and just his journey from Auburn as this guy that maybe should not on paper have made it, but has made it and is making the most?
Yeah, it's been kind of awesome to watch Dylan there because, last year as a prospect, there was a lot of Janiyah Broome when we were evaluating Auburn last year, and everyone was talking about him as a prospect. And every time you'd watch Janiyah Broome is with the Sixers, you'd be like, wait, their other big man has been fantastic. And, he's just one of these guys that knows how to play his game. So Cardwell just kept popping up for a lot of us at No Ceilings. And we're like, man, someone in the second round should just take a flyer because you might really find a nice piece. Dylan goes undrafted, and the Kings right now look, like geniuses. And that's why, every time you talk to scouts and everything, they're always going to say, there's value everywhere in the draft, even with guys that don't get drafted or don't hear their name called. So I think that's even more enticing for a team like the Kings where, hey, if you do go to finally hit the rebuild button, it's like, well, there's talent everywhere. Even in the second round, even in undrafted, you can find these pieces that might not be superstars, but they might be superstars in their role. So I think Dylan, what he's doing for the Kings this year is so awesome because those guys are really valuable to certain teams where you're like, hey, worst case scenario, we know we've got this guy that could be a building block for this culture to kind of help get the engine going the right way when it comes to the rebuild process and get the type of team and players and mentality you want around in the building. So I think Dylan's play this year has been fantastic, and it's so awesome, especially with a fan base like the Kings, to kind of see him land there.
Well, Tyler, unless you ignore my calls and texts, this will not be the last time we're utilizing your skill set here on this show between now and the NBA draft. Your work is just beginning, my friend, but you've been hustling on this draft class, past draft classes, future draft classes. They don't sleep at No Ceilings. It's no ceilings and no sleep.
Right?
Like that's what they do over there.
No sleep these time of day. So thank you guys for having me on. I'm happy to do it anytime.
We look forward to talking to Tyler again
Thanks,
as we get closer to the NBA draft. Thank you so much, Tyler. Really appreciate him taking the time. We're just dipping our toe in.
I know,
Kayla.
right?
We're just dipping our toe in because we got to get through the trade deadline. Once we get through the trade deadline, we'll kind of analyze what the rest of the season is for the Sacramento Kings. But as we get closer to that, once we get into March, once March Madness begins too, that's where all eyes are going to be locked into what these prospects are doing, who the Sacramento Kings should have their eye on. And we're going to have a ton of draft analysts on this show between now and the start of the NBA draft. From guys that cover the entire draft like Tyler to we'll talk to someone from BYU about AJ and someone from Kansas about Peterson. Like we're going to dive deep into this NBA draft coverage because, well, that's where all the hopes and prayers are for the Sacramento Kings right now.
And we want to make sure ourselves, but the listeners are as educated as can be. I feel like it's so much nicer than watching the draft when you're educated and know exactly what that player is or who that player is.
Tyler made me feel better. Tyler made me feel better about just the opportunities out there if the Sacramento Kings were to fall out of that top three. But again, when you're looking for a franchise cornerstone player, and it sounds like really Cam Boozer he talked about having a high floor. Like probably the highest floor. And I've talked about this before. Cam Boozer and the talk around Cam Boozer reminds me a lot of the talk around Keegan Murray when the Kings drafted Keegan. But the situation for the Kings at that time was very different from the situation of the Kings at this time. Because at that time, they were looking to add a piece onto their new Fox and Sabonis core to potentially make a playoff push. And they did. Keegan was the more NBA-ready prospect at the time, but didn't have necessarily the highest ceiling or the great athleticism compared to like a Jaden Ivey or Shaedon Sharpe or other guys that were in that mix. That was the right time for the Kings to take that kind of pick. An AJ DeBonsa, a Peterson, someone that is a big swing with a ton of athleticism and a high ceiling, that is exactly what the Kings should prioritize right now. So I'm not saying like I'm out on Cam Boozer or anything like that, but the safe prospect is not what the Kings should be looking for. It's the high ceiling potential superstar if everything goes right.
And he initially said Darren was the top that he would go with.
Yeah, and that's kind of the consensus at this point. It's not the consensus the same way Cooper Flagg was next year.
Right.
But it sounds like Darren Peterson, in terms of just pure scoring greatness, he is that guy. And if the Kings are looking for any 6'6", a 6'6" guard that can just get buckets, and the Kings could use some of that. So if that's the route that they want to go, it sounds like no matter what, the Kings are going to walk out of draft night happy to some extent. Maybe not with the number one guy on their board if they're not top 1 or top 2 pick, but they're going to walk out of draft night happy and feeling pretty good about what they're doing going forward. I imagine Scott Perry's job is a little bit not fun and stressful right now. Once he gets into the draft analyst phase and once he knows what pick he's going to have, I feel like this draft process is going to be a ton of fun, and there's going to be a lot of optimism around the Kings around that time.
Right.
Can we get to that, please?
Yeah, I mean, and he's not going to sleep along the way. No. That's for sure. It's always crazy to think, like, how do these guys even function? But that's their jobs. Got to get it right.
Well, before we welcome in the Drive guys for a crosstalk with Whitey Gleason and Alan Stiles, well, we got some more NBA talk, including the Sacramento Kings. Domantas Sabonis to Toronto is still a very real possibility. Sam Amick has been continuing to talk about that. There has been an unfortunate update in terms of the center for the Houston Rockets. We'll update you on that situation, and maybe that might have an impact on what the Houston Rockets try to do at the trade deadline. Plus, in general, is anyone in the NBA currently in a worse situation than the Sacramento Kings? We'll discuss that before we wrap up the show right here on Sactown Sports.
This is Bill Cartwright. Join us Thursday, February 5th at the Golden One Center for the Sacramento Sports Hall of Fame celebration.
Guys, if your energy is low, your strength isn't what it used to be, or your drive feels off, it's not just getting older. For many men, it's low testosterone. At Revive Men's Health Sacramento, you can start with a free T-check, exam, and consultation so you get real answers about your testosterone levels and overall health. And this month only, qualified patients may receive 25% off testosterone replacement therapy. This isn't guesswork or one-size-fits-all treatment. Revive specializes in personalized, closely monitored testosterone care designed to help men feel stronger, sharper, and more like themselves again. With over 120,000 patients treated since 2011, Revive Men's Health is trusted for results, not hype. If you've been putting this off, now is the time to act. Claim your free T-check and consultation and see if you qualify for 25% off TRT. This month only. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Terms apply. Must medically qualify.
Join Sactown Sports downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In-Shape Fitness Kings Rally towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes. Upgrade and save today at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. And more. Line dancing live DJs, Mechanical Bulls, huge festival area, and food trucks. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Valentine's gift. Surprise them with live country music and dancing. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Hoblit Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram Center and Hilton Sacramento. For more info, visit CITPFest.com. Hey, movie fans, Marty Supreme is playing at the Esquire IMAX Theater. See it the way it was meant to be seen on the 6-story IMAX screen. Feel every twist and turn crashing all around you, where every seat is always the best seat in the house.
It's only a matter of time before I'm staring at you from the cover of a Wheaties box. You think it's that simple? Yeah, I do.
Don't wait. Get reserved seats for Marty Supreme at Sacramento's biggest and loudest movie-going experience, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento.
Matt and Kayla on
Sactown Sports 1140.
Shout out again to Tyler Rucker from No Ceilings, one of their great draft analysts over there. And they got a whole team over there, great draft analysts. So we will definitely have the No Ceilings guys on over the course of this process between now and draft night, which, again, we talk about life having a fast forward button. If we get fast forward to that point,
I know.
Draft night's going to be really fun around here in Sacramento.
It'll be my first time actually covering an NBA draft.
Depending upon where the Kings pick, too, although it's highly likely in general, you might get to experience a NBA draft party inside the Golden One Center, which is a lot of fun.
That'd be sweet.
A lot of fun. We did this.
Gotta be careful. Last time they did that, it was our boy Mr. Double Down,
Marvin Bagley.
Baby, I'm a double down.
They did do one outside for Keegan, but it was way smaller.
Yeah, it's not the same thing. But almost the entire lower bowl was full when Marvin Bagley was drafted.
Okay.
And what's funny is I was there and I was working for 1140 at the time, and I was there and I was getting social media videos, and I have to find the video because I have a video. I'm up at the top of the lower bowl.
Okay.
And I have the entire crowd like on a wide shot when they announce who they're picking. And they announce, it's Marvin Bagley, and there's some cheer, like mostly cheers. Like people were excited about Marvin Bagley.
Yeah.
And there's this guy walking up the stairs right in front of me towards the exit, just shaking his head. Just like, he knew. He knew immediately.
Oh, I kind of remember that.
I don't know who that man is. I have to find that clip.
Oh, you gotta
But he
find
is
the
just
clip.
shaking his head like he knew you didn't draft Luka, you idiots. And he walked. I've never seen him again. He could have been an angel, could have been a ghost. I have no idea. But I got it on video. Him just walking right past me up the stairs, just shaking his head in disgust.
You gotta find that video.
I will find it.
I think I've seen this video before.
But
like
also,
it was a viral thing.
Kayla, you have to understand, okay? You have to understand. That summer was the first summer of the California Classic, which was the summer league, the pre-summer league, summer league that the Kings held inside the Golden One Center.
Yep.
And
which is also now in San Francisco sometimes.
Yes, it's changed. But when it was ours, it was great.
Sacramento's.
And so the Golden One Center for a summer league game between the Kings and the Lakers is, I'm not kidding you, sold out.
Okay, it does not shock me.
Not upper bowl closed off. No, the entire arena
Concourse?
is sold out for a summer league game because the Kings starting five for that summer league game was De'Aaron Fox, Frank Mason, Harry Giles, Marvin Bagley, and there was one more in there who was like a decent player. Like it was a stacked summer league team by summer league standards.
I think it was Justin Jackson.
It might have been. It was like it was the super team just young, which was the famous line for Vlade Divac at the time. The Kings are the super team, they're just young.
Just young.
And Marvin Bagley's first bucket as a King. Again, before all the context that we know now, the Kings finally move up to the second pick in the draft. They take Marvin Bagley. It's our time. Finally, the Kings got some draft lottery luck. His first bucket, he puts Mo Wagner on a poster in the first quarter.
So you're thinking,
I will show you this dunk. The entire place exploded. Like just a nasty dunk.
Yeah.
So that's his welcome to the NBA
like,
moment.
Here.
Sold out for Summer League. And I swear to God, I'm sitting in the media section and we're not allowed to cheer in the media section.
No, you're not.
I stood up and I'm clenching my fists and I turned around and I looked at my buddies sitting behind me and I just looked and I just nodded like,
yeah, you're like, okay.
It's here. It's here. We finally got him.
And then you did the video.
The best moment of Marvin Bagley's career was literally his first bucket. From that point on, boom.
Wait, when did you make the video? In all seriousness.
Double Down came out, I think, year 3 of his career.
Okay.
But like the way it started was, oh my God, the Kings got the Kings have Fox, Giles, and Marvin Bagley.
I mean, on paper, it sounds great.
It's going to be disgusting.
Yeah.
And it was disgusting.
Think about this. Matt's not the
all
only
know
person.
What happened.
Well, yeah, we do. Matt's not the only person who's explained this to me before. This is a summer league dunk.
Yeah.
That still gets talked about 8 years later.
I'm not kidding you. Like it sounds so stupid.
Can I look
to
it
say
up?
it.
Is it
Yes,
anywhere?
Marvin Bagley summer league dunk. It sounds so stupid, but I'm telling you, 18,000 people at that moment felt like it was finally over.
No, I get that.
It was
I wouldn't blame you
we
for
had
that
finally
either.
made it. We had a superstar
Oh, here we go.
alongside De'Aaron Fox. This tandem was going to be amazing, It was a moment that I truly cannot explain. It was just an unbelievable moment.
Kayla's watching it.
No, that wasn't it.
Kayla's I can find it for you too.
The other part too, I might have my year off a little bit, but at that point it was a 12-year playoff drought, which was either like the third or the fourth longest in NBA history.
Yeah, it wasn't close to how bad
Because
it
the Kings ended up with the longest, right?
Yes.
We thought we had finally found the light, and the darkness was just beginning.
And out of those 12 years, they had never had a pick higher than 4.
Okay.
I think 1989 was the last time they had a top 2 pick. It was like 29 years apart between top 2 picks. And that was Purvis Ellison, which used to be the bar for like worst number 1 pick ever.
Right.
Okay.
We're
gonna go quiet. We're gonna go quiet here for a
second.
second. We're gonna turn the sound on, so hopefully you can hear.
Yeah, I'm looking
how
at this now.
insane. And somewhere there's got to be G-Man's call of this, because they did a radio broadcast too. I'm not kidding you. This moment was like. It sounds so stupid, but it's really crazy.
So he posterized Mo Wagner.
Yeah, posterized Mo Wagner. Again, it's against the Lakers in a summer league game. This is Marvin Bagley's first bucket.
Okay. Oh.
Just a monster.
Oh,
and
yeah,
look at the reaction.
The crowd going. It remind me of Cardwell right there. Get the crowd going.
We were losing our minds. Again, this is De'Aaron Fox after his rookie season, and Marvin just posterizes Mo Wagner, and we're like, we made it. Like it's finally worth it, guys. It's finally worth it. We made it. Yep. Well.
Hey, Matt George and Kayla. Would you like to hear the G-Man call?
Yes, play the call.
Of the Marvin Bagley?
Play the call.
All of these files. It might not let me process it here. Let me see. Does this work?
Up by 2 at 7-5. Lakers force a shot. Badly missed. Grabbed by Fox. Push the tempo. Gives it inside. Going around. Oh, boy. Marvin Bagley. Welcome to Sacramento with a nasty left-hand rip. Look at the snarl on his face, and look at the reaction of Kings fans. That was worth your price of admission for day one, right off the bat.
It is so sad that moment still gives me chills, because it was meaningless, and it was literally the highlight of Marvin Bagley's career.
Double down.
It's meaningless, but it gives me chills because I can put myself back in that moment. And there was such a buzz around a summer league game and that crowd being there. And but that right there is what I'm telling you. You bring a Peterson or a DeBonsa or a Cam Boozer or Wilson, any of these guys, you bring them to Sacramento and you have them play in the California Classic or in the Summer League alongside Maxime Reynaud and Dylan Cardwell and Nick Clifford next year. That's how this city reacts. Yeah. This city is starved for that, to where we will lose our minds like you just won a championship for a Summer League dunk. That is truly, and it's so sad to say, and people can make fun of it, and I don't care. That is one of my favorite moments that I've ever seen live as a Kings fan, because in that moment, there was joy, and there was bliss, and there was hope, and it was such a great time. Now that we know how it ended,
well, hopefully that is a situation that does happen, where you can get one of these top 3 picks, and that it is a guy you can actually not only build around, but keep here for a while. Because, that's the other thing, that there's always an issue, even when you draft someone where you're excited about them and then they end up getting, gone in a trade that went bad. It's like there has to be something that goes right.
Yeah.
In this future of the organization. And if it doesn't, I'm going to go wild. I'm going to go crazy.
It's sad how fond of memories I have of that moment and what it was, and just the joy in that moment.
Right. Oh, by the way, if we get to it, we can get to it in crosstalk. I found one of the people who did not vote for Bill Belichick.
Oh, boy. Okay, we will get to that when we come back. Also, really quickly, I want to mention this, too, and we might bring this up in crosstalk as well. But Domantas Sabonis to the Toronto Raptors might be the real only hope we have of a big move for the Sacramento Kings outside of a Keon Ellis trade at this trade deadline. It has legs. They might not be standing super strong, but it has legs, and this RJ Barrett connection with Scott Perry, it's a real thing. We can debate what contracts the Kings would or wouldn't want to take back, but it's a legitimate conversation according to Sam Amick. So there's not we're not hopeless yet, Kings fans. I'll believe it when I see it, that's for sure, when it comes to Sabonis trade and his contract. But it's not hopeless. So put your hope, I guess, in the Raptors to give the Sacramento Kings, throw the Kings a bone a little bit in this trade deadline. But when we come back, the Drive guys, Whitey Gleason, Alan Stiles joins us next.
Big savings are back at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Looking to own or lease? We have options for everyone. Plus, lower interest rates at Folsom Lake Honda make for lower payments. It's no wonder Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
My name is Whitney Allen. I'm a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/fast. That's ethos.com/fast.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free. Thunder. Feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mami, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6 to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sepp Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sepp Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sepp's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
On Sactown Sports 1140.
Hey!
I love those two.
Whitey Gleason's here. Alan Stiles, I guess, just shows up when he wants.
I was just with Alan Stiles.
No,
where is he?
No, it's good, Alan. Don't worry about it. It's cool. We're only doing a radio show here, Crosstalk. Don't worry about it. You got more important things to do, I'm sure.
This was an old bit on the morning show where he would show up late.
Yeah, don't worry about it, bud.
I got to share with you here, since he's not here. Didn't you have... And I don't know if it was both of you. Maybe it was both of you. I apologize. You had Deuce on?
Deuce,
yeah.
Both of us, yeah.
Okay. So Alan was like, I can never get Deuce on.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I texted Deuce last night. And he answered me today. I was like, hey, do you think you can come on? He said, I forgot to hit you back last night. What time are you thinking? And then he goes, Alan asked me like one time last minute. Ha ha.
Yeah.
So,
Alan
so he wasn't planning.
Alan blowing something out of proportion?
I don't know.
That doesn't sound like him.
Say.
I'd say it to his face, but he's not here. I mean,
I thought he turned it down like 6 times, it sounded like.
Yeah, I know, at least.
That's what it sounded like.
Yeah.
Whitey, do you remember, because we were sharing in the last segment, Oh, there he is, everybody.
Oh,
He's here.
You can join us.
This moment that we were talking a lot about was pre-Allen being here as well, so I don't know if he remembers it at all. But do you remember Marvin Bagley's dunk over Mo Wagner in Summer League? His first bucket is the California Classic, the first ever game. It's De'Aaron Fox, Harry Giles, Marvin Bagley. His first ever bucket in the NBA, kinda, but his first bucket with a King.
I don't think I do, if I'm being honest.
Really?
I should, but I don't think I do.
It's sad how much of like a bright moment it is in the history of the Kings. The best moment of Marvin Bagley's career was literally his first bucket in a Summer League game. But I was sharing it with her.
Matt was like a newborn baby just now.
It's one of my fondest memories, and it's pathetic that it is, but one of my favorite moments ever inside the Golden One.
Remember Ronnie Price over Boozer? Baseline, night before Thanksgiving. See, that's another one that's like, what? Ronnie Price?
What?
But for those who remember it, it's one of those.
What year was that?
Would have been around 2011, something like that. Have to look it up. But anyway, I don't
remember that.
There's some of these random things that this team has done that's like in this grand scape of NBA things, they're meaningless. But for fans who remember, it's like, yeah, Ronnie Price, baby.
Go!
On Cam's dad.
On Cam's dad.
Yeah, on Cam Boozer's dad.
We just had a really good conversation with Tyler Rucker from No Ceilings, one of the draft analysts for No Ceilings, and he was helping me out a little bit, just letting us know, like, look, the top 3 of this draft is the top 3. You can even throw Wilson in the top 4 if you want to. But if the Kings do somehow, the ping pong balls don't go their way, they fall to 5, 6, or 7, win too many games, or just have bad luck on their side, this is a really deep draft class that I think all of us are looking forward to diving more into when the draft gets closer and closer.
Yeah.
Yes, it will.
You're not on.
No, I don't know.
There we go. Turn him on.
It was our
Christopher Lodd's fault.
Disrespect is incredible.
Yeah.
No, where you go.
But look, not to be that guy, but
here we
You're
go.
that guy.
It's not a matter of the whammy being a non-NBA player, but the whammy being, for lack of a better example, Patrick Williams on the Bulls, right? Where he's an NBA player, right? He went number 4.
Yeah.
So I was listening to you on the way in just about the idea of you being very anxious about that pick.
Yep.
Because even to Tyler Rucker's point, they're not all going to be stars. This is not how the numbers work.
Sure.
So the Kings can still get a guy that, relatively speaking, isn't, Anthony Bennett, but in a class like this, even if you get the Patrick Williams, you're thinking, oh, how did we get Patrick Williams?
Yeah, I think Patrick Williams in this draft, we're just guessing, he's way down there.
You really think it's that
If you want to make yourself feel better, Matt, you may have already done this. Kayla, check out Kingston Flemings.
Okay.
And he's projected right now to go about 5th.
About 5th, 6th,
Oh, my goodness. He's incredible.
So it is so much deeper than those classes that we've seen.
It looks like
about.
it, yeah.
But
top 3 are kind
Yeah.
of separate, but still, there's some really good guys.
But ultimately, if you want to pull off this rebuild, because I see the comparisons, look at the Detroit Pistons, how quickly they were able to turn around. Yeah, because they got Cade Cunningham number 1 overall. Whether the Kings get the number 1 overall pick or not, when they're doing a redraft 3 years from now about this NBA draft, the Kings need to end up with a guy that's top 3 of that redraft. If they're really looking for franchise cornerstone to build around, and that's where the pressure really falls on Scott Perry. There's pressure on him at this trade deadline for sure to clean up this mess. But the draft, that's where Scott Perry is going to either make or break his Sacramento Kings career.
Yeah. And there's also my guy, Neoclis. You looked it up. Avdalas.
My
from
favorite
Virginia
is when
Tech.
someone says my guy and mispronounces their name.
Whitey was trying to make sure I got it right, but Neoclis Avdalas from Virginia Tech. There's a dude that everyone's been talking about from Liberty who was balling out that point forward as well.
Oh, I saw that.
Neocles of Thala.
There you go.
It's like it's Greek, so the D is a tha.
Yeah, and he's from Greece. Come on, man. It's over. It's over.
You want him. That's
we got him. We got the dude from Liberty. Oh my goodness. And AJ.
He's from Greece, you said? He's Greek? So if Milwaukee just drafts him just out of like hope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't do that to him.
No.
I wouldn't do. You can't. You got to stay away from Greece if you're Milwaukee.
Greek Freak Part 2.
No, I can't do that.
I mean, do you think it's done before the trade dedeadline, Giannis?
I don't know. I'm so tired of this. I'm tired of Giannis.
Yeah.
I'm tired of, I'll never leave. I'm just sick of
You
it.
did a whole
sick of it. Yeah. I'm almost as sick of it as I am really another Ted Lasso season. That's really what we're.
Wow.
today.
We get it.
It ended on a great note.
was supposed to be
get
done.
it. I don't know. I stopped after season 1.
Okay, that's crazy.
Well,
I saw
Alan.
the trailer for season 2. I said, I've already seen this. Thank you.
I've
seen it.
It was good. It was
it
good.
just won't stop until everyone believes in themselves.
But Love Island coming out.
Oh, yeah, well,
Alan
that's
is on
different.
it.
That's
Alan is
completely
on it.
different.
Yeah, because all the Love Island episodes are completely different.
They're, new games, right? New bombshells coming in. It's completely different.
You never know.
That's right. The new Love is Blind.
Yes,
You see
that's
that
out.
cast came
That's
out?
to
Come
be
on, it's
out.
completely different.
You went through a whole summer, and I don't blame you because I did this too. We went through a whole summer of talking about Jonathan Kuminga every day for damn near 4 hours. And you're tired of the Giannis situation?
I'm just tired of the Giannis situation. No, Kuminga's different. That's connected to the Kings.
Oh.
There's always one guy. Last season it was KD, and he didn't even get traded before the deadline.
Right.
Giannis, this has been going on for 4 years with Giannis.
Yeah.
4 years, and he's just so, I don't know, I'm just so shy. I've never had a Twinkie
brought
before.
that up.
Just give me a break.
No, he doesn't want to be the bad guy.
I brought that up, that he's like, I don't know anything.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be the bad guy.
I would never ask out.
Today.
Yeah.
I don't know tomorrow. I don't know, but I want to be here.
Right, like Kyle Shanahan. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm here today. It's just enough. Please move. Please stop the log jam, which is the bingo card phrase of this season. Stop the log jam with the trade deadline. You're holding us hostage. Giannis has held us all hostage for 4 years because he likes cupcakes and he's never had an Oreo before. Just give me a break. Give me a break. He's probably never had a Kit Kat either.
I was gonna say,
and then he's going to put a video up, I love Kit Kats. Oh, Giannis, you're so funny. Oh, you're the best, Giannis.
So, best and worst destination for you personally, not for him, but in your mind, like where you want him to go versus where you couldn't stand Giannis ending up for both of you guys.
I don't want to see him go to the Spurs or the Warriors. Where I would like to see him go, somewhere as far. What's the easternmost team?
Miami.
Yeah, that's
where the Warriors are trying to send Kuminga.
Yeah.
Just go to Miami because honestly, he can't stay on the floor these days. The spacing would be atrocious with him and Bam. Bam shoots a couple threes at Team USA. Now he's a 3-shooter. You give me a break. Send him out there. Tyler Hero can't stay healthy. It's a nightmare out there. Eric Spoelstra
I
can't
would
even
send him
save
to
it.
Charlotte. That's where I would send
Yeah.
him.
Send him to
Charlotte,
Miami.
yeah. Yep.
Send him to Miami and just be done with it. Done.
I know you don't want him to go to the Spurs, and I feel the same way. I don't want him anywhere in the West, obviously. But if I am advocating for anybody to go all in for him, it is San Antonio. I think San Antonio is the perfect spot for him to, 1, win a title, and 2, they can offer a haul of young players and picks that is exactly what Milwaukee should be asking for. So if San Antonio doesn't end up with Giannis, I think that's something that, I mean, they have Wemby, so they're fine, but they might be kicking themselves hard for that.
But it may depend on what he wants, especially.
Well, that's what we were saying.
We were debating with Kyle about it, but at the
Yeah.
same time, if you're Milwaukee, like you may never get a player like this again. You have to look, not to compare De'Aaron Fox to Giannis, but Sacramento botched as almost bad as they could botch the De'Aaron Fox trade. And I'm saying Milwaukee's going to do the same thing, but you need to maximize the value for a generational superstar that you might never ever have again. And if San Antonio can give you that, even if he wants to go to New York, take San Antonio's offer if they offer it, of course.
I mean, look, he won them a championship, so it's a little bit different. But
sure,
Dame wanted to go to Miami. He didn't get to go where he wanted to go.
And he's back.
Jimmy, he's back. Jimmy didn't necessarily want to go to the Warriors. The whole thing was the Suns, I believe. They didn't send him where he wanted to go. Now, they didn't win championships, but Jimmy went to, a couple finals with the Heat. So, look, all I know.
Oh, here we go. All I know. That should be a segment.
Is that
all I know
is that Jeremy Sohan is untouchable because he's headed to the 916, the city of trees. He's going to be coming down the escalator at Sacramento Airport. He's going to see the rabbit, and he's going to see the future of the Sacramento Kings.
If Allen were running the Kings, they'd have Jarris Walker. They'd have Jeremy Sohan.
That is correct.
Yeah.
For what?
They'd have the guy that was undrafted in Summer League that you
Grant Nelson. I got to check in on him.
Oh, my God.
That's my guy.
No, for what? Meaning, like, what if you're... Why not just wait till he's a restricted free agent at the end of the year to negotiate with him? What are you offering now?
It's very simple.
Okay,
agent.
Hold on.
Agent Allen.
I'm going to text.
Yeah, get off the phone.
Hold on.
Scott, Perry, hold on. Scott, I'm talking to Allen right now.
During a break. So it's easy. It's just Keon and Saric for. I was talking to some people, and this is what's coming up.
Sarge is still on the team?
Not to Sarge.
Who is that?
Yeah. Dust off the jersey.
Who's that?
I was talking to some of my contacts in San Antonio. That's what we're going to talk about at 3:30.
Okay.
So you don't want to miss that Allen's intel. And during that conversation, they are looking for a wing that can shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to tell Kyle a long time ago that the Spurs, they're a brick. They can't shoot. Right, they're 21st in
Keon's not a
three-point
wing.
percentage. Depends on who you ask.
He's 6'2".
He's 6'6" in Basketball Reference.
Yeah, okay.
Alan.
He's not Diego Pavia. He's
And
not
you're
Diego
6'5",
Yeah, so
Alan.
is Diego Pavia, baby.
So the
So
reasons they can't shoot is because they have Jeremy Sohan on their team.
well, that's not what his bag is. So you get him out here, willing defender, defensive oriented. That's what one of the pillars is for Scott Perry. So you get him out here, you make the deal. Bye-bye, Saric. Were you on the team? We don't know. God bless you. And we move forward. And then you get a version. Look, no star power like Kuminga, but also no drama. And there you have it. Then you go out, get AJ. Then you can go get your Darren Peterson. Let's rock and roll, baby. When's the parade?
It's not sexy, but yeah, it's a
That's
start.
right.
It's a start.
His hair is going to be purple.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what color is
Come
the
on,
hair?
baby.
Purple.
The beam is his hair is just going to go into the beam. Kayla gets it.
Leave. I got 4 hours of this.
Kayla gets it.
As usual, Whitey Gleason, good luck. Everybody else, stick around and good luck to you too.
That's right.
They're gonna cook. Alan's always cooking. Alan's intel.
That's right. 3:30. Don't miss it.
Well,
We haven't decided for sure if that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Not all of us are 100% on board. Yeah.
And it sounds like Deuce Mason too joining the show.
Oh yeah.
He might. I don't know.
He might.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Chris Biederman at 5 p.m., by the way.
Okay.
Kyle
Draper.
Draper at 3.
Stevie Johnson.
Great.
Stevie Johnson at
Oh,
4.
tell Stevie I said hi.
Okay.
Fully loaded show.
Have a great time on your guys' show, and for all you loyal listeners to Matt and Kayla, stick around for, of course, the Drive guys. But we'll see you tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. right here on Sactown Sports.
Peace.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000,